Beware his powers, unspeakable powers. He's the wizard, the mystical wizard.
Greetings, travelers, Wiz Kids, and Wordplayers. It is another Wednesday, which means it is another WoW Wednesday, and I am joined by the Gremlin King himself, Samurai Snowman.
Hello.
Which character are you rocking today, Snowman?
He's my most recently designed character. I've named him Bonic for now. So we'll see where he goes with him. I fucking love his design. I think he's crazy as shit looking.
And I am also joined by Jesker James.
Yo, people, what's good? Cynic. What do you mean by that? Late and Jesker.
Late and Jesker. We were like a few minutes late, and I also played the intro early. So really, were we late at all?
No.
We're
A
always
wizard
on
is
time,
never
baby.
late.
Yep.
Yeah, you know.
A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
So there you go.
And Cynic has time to be out here typing, but he don't got time to be up here speaking.
Yo.
we don't need to give him more crap for that. Let's welcome everyone to the chat. Summer Swan is here, being her
Hi, Swan.
hostess in the chat. Grumpy saying hello to everyone.
Hell yeah, Grumpy.
Jay Sonic made it. It says we need to discuss the 28 Years Later trailer, best trailer yet. I have not seen
Ooh,
the original trailer,
nice.
and maybe next week. Can't play trailers on stream all that easy.
You've never have you not seen the original
28 days later? No.
It's pretty good.
Oh.
I just saw
Oh,
something
you're
recently
missing out.
about that. It's like a super rare and hard to find film. Like nothing streams it, and you can't buy it like online anywhere. You got to get it like secondhand.
It's good though. Oh my god. Robert Carlyle in that movie, fantastic.
I think I've seen it like one time. I don't really remember it that well.
Yeah, as many know, I am notorious for not seeing many movies. So
You're young.
I mean, sometimes it's an excuse, sometimes it's not. But,
You know there's these things called movie theaters, right?
well, I mean, movie theaters play new movies, Jesker. I mean, like some of them play old movies, but like
Yeah, but they've been around your entire life.
yeah, I mean, I've been to movie theaters. I'm just saying that, like, well, okay, so my entire life, remember, Jesker, started in 1999. So, like, most movies that came out before or that a child could watch between those, you know.
Wait, when did 28 Days Later come out? Hold on.
2002.
Was it?
So I would have been like 2.
All right, so yeah,
There's
like,
no excuse.
Like, baby, you could have crawled at that point. Baby, you could have crawled to a theater and seen it.
Yeah, crawl to the theater and go see go see the crazy zombie movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, Snowman, how was your week?
It was fucking dope. I actually got like a $200 tip yesterday, so that was fucking
Wow.
awesome. How's your week? How's everyone else's week?
Well, so I was just gonna ask Jesker. Jesker, how's your week?
It's been entertaining. Yesterday I was sick as everything. I got a pizza and then I proceeded to a couple of hours later upchuck the pizza, and that was not fun. And I missed out on a great Ruby King stream yesterday. That thing was fire. I was watching it, but I couldn't join because I was just bleh. It was
Damn.
terrible.
We're glad you're here in better form, brother.
Hello, One Gun. Hello,
What's up,
I know
One
you
Gun?
from CG Church, but I can't remember your name. Oh.
Fierce, apathetic black queen.
So I can't
Back
remember.
up, please.
But no, One Gun, I have your art to show, so I'll jump into
Nice.
that. My week, I was playing. We'll get into it. I was playing Marvel Rivals. pretty heavily, not terribly, but because of the way my internet is, I have to wait to play it till nothing else is using it, so as to not be laggy and stuff. So I can only play it later in the day. But I played some of that. Like I said, I'll get into that. But first, I want to show off. One Gun was generous enough. He had offered to draw, people's OCs for them for practice, and so I gave him one of the characters from my pirate story, and was like, hey, here's something, here's something to work on. So he sends me this.
Fuck yeah.
So this is the captain in the pirate story, and I told him that there was just some minor alterations, but otherwise this was basically what he looks like, right?
Very nice.
Yeah, it's I think I told him at some point that people like One Gun make me want to just chop off my hands and throw them away.
No, they make you want to get better.
Preston says he looks kind of gay. Well, I mean, he's a pirate. He's gonna look like that. He's gonna have he has the little handlebar.
Preston with the
mustache.
flames out the gate.
Yeah, Preston just throwing them right out there.
That's good as shit, dude.
Yeah, I like how he added like the pirate skull. It reminds me of Peter Pan.
Mm-hmm. The rugged coat is nice.
Yeah, the big coat. So like, I was actually going to change the scratched up coat, and have it be like just a solid coat, because I have a character that I think might fit that scratched up coat better. Cynic says, I'm listening to Wiz in my other headphone while I stream on BTM Reviews. Well, tell them we say hi over here and that you are.
Yeah, what's up? What's up, Dave?
That you're double dipping.
And Jim's the real star of that show.
Toy Fanboy is here. Hello. But
what's up, chat? Hi, chat. I love y'all.
But yeah, that was thank you, One Gun, for that. And yeah, so Marvel Rivals, I'll save my thoughts on it because I'm going to do a review. But I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying playing it. Snowman, you dipped into it a little bit, right?
Yeah. So I won't disparage it too bad, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. But there are some hella fucking dope ass costumes, at least on the marketplace, or there will be eventually. There's some good ones now.
Yeah.
So if that's your thing, at least the art style is pretty cool, and they got some cool costumes.
Hey, other guy, Preston, you know who that is. Come on, you know them all by this point. They're regulars on here.
This is the terrible trio, man. This is better than the Fantastic Four.
It was the terrific trio in the Batman Beyond universe. They're the ripoff of the Fantastic Four, if you remember. Only appeared in one episode. But anyway, yeah. So
yeah,
there's the two-dimensional man. Can't remember the girl that's basically Invisible Woman, and then there's the rock guy. He's a lava guy, so he's combined together, Human Torch and thing.
I totally forgot about that one. I'm gonna fucking watch that show.
Anyway, yeah. So Rivals, it's good, it's fun. I'm enjoying my time with it. But people have been kind of labeling it the Overwatch killer. Like Grumpy says, it's a Marvel reskinned Overwatch ripoff. Interesting character design art. That's the tweet. So,
Grumpy.
I don't want to say it's a ripoff, but there is definitely what I can kind of see. It's like, okay, it's definitely an Overwatch thing, and which is good because Overwatch, made a bunch of money. But
it's gonna make sure that money.
It'll make money, but Overwatch had one thing, right, that kept it in the public eye no matter what. It always managed to have that kind of cultural staying power based on one thing. Do any of you know what the thing was that made Overwatch relevant for its nearly 10-year life cycle?
Filthy casuals?
No.
Yeah. I mean, he's not wrong.
It is something filthy.
It's porn.
Overwatch had crazy amounts of 3D fan works.
Yeah.
That
Ah.
were
Okay.
so no matter what character was made, as long as if it was a female character design, it was ripped from the game and thrown onto the internet. But Overwatch,
Giggity goo.
Well, that's with a lot of
Overwatch-
most like every female character though.
yeah, but it just Overwatch was like had these like kind of cartoony models, so it kind of helped it. I don't know, but yeah, Preston with the Preston with the Office quote. It's called hentai and it's art.
I agree with that too.
Every character is traceable to an Overwatch character. Hulk is Diva. No, Hulk is not Diva. Penny Parker is Diva. I don't even play Overwatch really. NetEase is blatant. Well, I mean, like, so it's one of the things that there's a hole in the market for a good Overwatch game because Blizzard stopped making one. You know, they kneecapped Overwatch 1 and then threw out Overwatch 2 and then it was bad. And basically, so as I said, the fan works were what was keeping Overwatch relevant. So much that when Rivals came out, a lot of people were like, all right, give me those models, right? Like I was literally watching Rivals' Twitter, like just like people tweeting about Rivals, and probably half of the posts were like, where's the Squirrel Girl model? Where's the Psylocke model? Right? When's that going to drop? And so like people said it was hyping it up like an album release, right? It took 2 days. And then the tweets hit like, all right, here's all the models. They're out on the internet, right? And the one thing that Blizzard did was that it put code onto the Overwatch models to where if they were trying to used outside of the game, they wouldn't work. They'd be corrupted. So people had to eventually like make new ones or make them from scratch or whatever, right? This was not the case for Rivals. I stand corrected as it clearly got the name wrong. I don't play it, but even you know who Hulk stands in for. Well, I don't know. I think Hulk, I don't know. I couldn't tell you who Hulk stands in for as far as like Overwatch, but like if you one look at Penny Parker and one look at Diva and you can kind of tell like that's what they're trying to go for. Anyway, that is to say that the models in Marvel Rivals data miners discovered were more detailed than they should be.
Yeah, makes sense.
And that they'll be easy to use for fan projects.
Yeah, giggity goo. All right.
So basically, and there's a GIF of it, but I didn't want to show it just because I didn't want to get popped for it. But like, so Squirrel Girl is like the most popular. They have Squirrel Girl and Psylocke on here. They're the most popular ones as far as like wanting the models, right? That they basically, all you have to do is click and move Squirrel Girl's torso and you move it out from the body. And then you move it out from the body and then there's no detail, but everything is just fully modeled a separate nude body, right? Like, so that all people had to do was just delete the clothes and then add the details and it was done, right? So basically like saying it as the Overwatch came out in like 2015, 2016, and that basically the teenagers or the young adults of that era are now working on video games. So they kind of knew like, well, you know, people are going to do this with this game. So, and it made Overwatch relevant for a long time. So can't beat them. Might as well just make it easier for them, I guess. So, and people were trying to say, or maybe they're correct that like, well, having the fully modeled, like having Squirrel Girl's fully modeled ass makes it easier when making skins and stuff, but like they'll never need to show all of the ass. So I don't know what they were. They were doing.
They knew what they were doing. I mean, they knew what they were doing, and they knew that what people were going to do, and they were trying to help them out. They were like, you know, we got you, bro. We got you. Bro.
Yeah, just Irgus. It's easier now.
We're like, part of the Gooner squad too. We got you, bro.
We'll meet you halfway.
Like, there you go.
And like, see, especially Psylocke. Psylocke has her alternate costume, which is the Betsy Braddock like 90s Psylocke, the actual Psylocke costume. Yep. Even though this isn't Betsy Braddock. This is like the third Psylocke. But basically, that other skin turns her into Betsy Braddock as far as the look goes, which just inflates her ass. like
very nice.
Just she goes from having nothing to just ass, and then it's you know, the hips are on display and all that stuff. Like they knew, and it's especially in a third person game where you're gonna be staring at the ass the whole time, you know. But
well, I mean, I think as a character designer too, Psylocke is sexy as fuck. So if you want to make like a sexy ass looking fucking character as you're designing it.
And people also posted that that Concord, right, which was supposed to be an Overwatch clone type deal too, had just ugly characters, right? Just ugly, terrible character designs. And how Marvel Rivals just like attractive females. We're not messing around. Bing, bang, boom, done. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and Psylocke's the costume you're talking about is the best one they got so far for her.
Yeah, I will say that her hair looks weird in it, but like it has like a weird like just cut off part, but so there is that. But
so what's the general consensus on the game?
General consensus is that I can't tell you what casuals are really thinking. I guess I could be considered a casual because I never went for the Overwatch type characters. But Overwatch fans are really happy. There's a lot of memes about like, you know, the I don't want to play with you anymore, or in like the scene from Cars 3 of the guy passing Lightning McQueen. You know, it's just like it's over for you, old man, right? Damn. It's like Overwatch is done. Like there was the best meme was the Count Facilier's death from Princess and the Frog, and it's like Overwatch when the new when the Marvel Rivals models hit the porn sites, you know, and it's like you know, like I'm not ready at all, I got lots planned, and then like everyone's coming for him, you know, and you know, and it's like wait, no, but
I still gotta see that damn movie, Princess. Oh,
that's a good one. That's the last like
yep, I know,
2D animated one. But anyway, so that I would say consensus is that it's a good game. Longevity will be its thing. It's how long are they going to keep going? What are they going to add?
They can keep cranking out costumes.
It's really that's it, right? Like they made those MCU skins will sell really well. I've seen people running around with their costumes already bought. Most people use the base models. I did,
and also because there's not that many costumes yet you can buy.
Yeah. They did add they're gonna add the Love and Thunder Thor costume, which looks good, but I don't want to have to wear that, you know. And my only costume I'd buy, you know, would be the like the classic Thor like costume, the Jack Kirby costume. But I've also surprisingly I've played Thor a lot. He took a while for me to kind of click because he's a tank. He's classed as a tank, but he plays more like a DPS guy. So you kind of gotta play him differently. But I've played almost everyone at this point in different matches and stuff. The healers I'm clicking with a lot. So like Luna Snow, who is like basically an industry plant. She's created for a mobile game, and then they just added her into this. But she's pretty fun as just being a basic healer. But Loki is actually really fun because Loki's a healer, right? So he'll shoot magic and they'll do like little explosions and they'll heal or they'll hurt like the enemies, right? But they'll heal your friends and hurt the enemies. But you can also make like clones and set them up in like wherever you choose. And then when you shoot, they shoot at whatever you're aiming at. So then you can have like two Lokis and you firing at like a single target. So you can melt dudes that way. But then also like the clones will heal your allies too. And then what you can do is you can swap between your clones. And so like you can put a clone like really far away and then the guys start coming to you and then you swap. And so then you've escaped and they're beating up a clone not knowing that it's not you. And you can turn invisible and like walk away from people and it'll leave behind a clone. So then like you could be getting beat up and it's like, oh, I'm gone. And then you disappear. And that's just really fun. He takes a bit to kind of get used to, and that's really all he can do is just kind of heal and shoot. He doesn't really have any other damage except for his ultimate ability, which is shapeshift, and you can turn into either your allies or your friend's hero. And then you get like then you can use their ultimate and stuff like that. And so it really, if you're going to play Loki, it helps to know every character and what every character can do and all that. But it's, that's really his best, like when his ultimate pops is when you can get his damage in and do that. But no, Loki's really fun. Haven't really, messed around with like Winter Soldier, Black Panther a few times because they have challenges in the game. So it's like, like they have like these monthly challenges and then like the season challenges where it's like, play as Black Panther and these many characters so many times in Wakanda, and then so you're like, okay, I'll mess around with some of these guys. But yeah, so I think IGN scored it like an 8 out of 10 or something like that. I haven't really looked and all that.
So people are generally positive on the game.
Yeah, it's a positive. I haven't seen anyone go like this game sucks. You might say it's mid, if anything, just because it's not your cup of tea. Like, because there's no story mode, right? Like, there's no, like, there's story in the game, but there's no like you're fighting like goons and stuff. Like, you don't have any of that.
What's the point of a game if you don't have a story? I mean, look, when I played,
there's a story, but not. It's like, so there is a story. There's just no like, yeah. There's just what you do is you click on. Each character has a story tab of their bios or whatever that gives them like, that gives you background. You can kind of have to piece it together what's going on, right? And then as you complete challenges, you can unlock a story section that builds the story too, but that's only if you want to. You don't have to,
All I know is
well, I will say too, Jesker, before you say that basically consider that those lore drops are like Ansem reports.
Ooh.
I swear to God, Wizard. I swear to God. All I know is, look, when I played Shoots and Ladder as a kid, that game had one of the best romances I've ever seen in gaming. So if it ain't got a story, I don't give a damn.
J-Sonic asked about Moon Knight. I messed around with him in the training mode, but I haven't played matches with him yet. But he does seem decent. I've seen some people get MVP with him and stuff like that. He seems pretty good. I've gotten MVP a few times as well. Just recently playing as Penny Parker. Then as like Luna Snow a few times. Got it at Thor, I think twice. Loki twice. Stuff like that. Like most of the time you get assists, but like if you can get some direct kills, pretty good. You get MVPs a lot. But yeah. So Marvel, that was my talk of Marvel Rivals. Stay tuned for my review that will be coming pretty soon. I've been drawing the thumbnail for it. I won't show it till it's ready.
Aww.
Well, Snowman's seen it. It's pretty good.
Oh, that's the thumbnail. Oh, okay. Yeah, that shit's cool looking. Yeah, you did a good
that-
job on that.
That'll be the thumbnail. Wanted to work on it today, but work was taking too long, and I was stuck at work all day.
Man, you ain't got no job.
I mean, I do though.
Shit.
You should quit.
I wish I could quit and just work on my art all day.
Yeah, that would be a good time, but I don't have a. Sorry, I had DMs I was looking at. Speaking of a good time, Ubisoft is looking to get bought out.
Oh boy.
Days after shutting X-Defiant and laying off hundreds of staff, Ubisoft is reportedly considering how to structure a 10-cent buyout without the Guillemot family losing control. Ubisoft's share price today, amid intensifying rumors that Chinese megacorp Tencent is engaged in buyout talks. The company behind Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six Siege have suffered a torrid year with multiple studios closures, mass layoffs, and game shutdowns. The company's next big game, Assassin's Creed Shadows, was delayed into 2025, and Star Wars Outlaws failed to meet sales expectations. According to rumors, Ubisoft shareholders are considering how to structure a possible buyout of the French company without reducing the Guillemot family's control. The Guillemot family is the largest shareholder in Ubisoft and is reportedly in talks with Tencent and other investors as it seeks funding a management buyout. Tencent is the second largest shareholder in Ubisoft with 10%, and according to Reuters, has yet to decide whether to fund the buyout. Indecision is partly because it was asked for a greater say on future board decisions, including cash flow distribution in return for financing the deal. Apparently, the Guillemot family has yet to agree with those terms, but Tencent is willing to wait for them to come around. Tencent declined to comment. Ubisoft spokesperson did comment saying, "We remain committed to making decisions in the best interest of our stakeholders. In this context, we have already indicated the company is also reviewing all its strategic options." Ubisoft shares fell to their lowest level in the last decade in September after it made a series of dramatic announcements around the performances of its games, as well as delaying Assassin's Creed Shadows. Ubisoft announced its return to Steam, blah, 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 blah. So, looks like Ubisoft is seeing the writing on the wall.
So I'm not surprised. I feel like just in terms of just I don't know what you would call it. Just like impact in the industry. I feel like Ubisoft has fallen off dramatically compared to where they used to be. And it's been kind of a slow falling off, I guess you would say. But does anyone really, does anyone really get hyped up about Ubisoft anymore? Like, I don't know. Like, to me, it just seems like everybody's at this point is kind of like, oh yeah, Ubisoft, they're still a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like Ubisoft's become a joke.
Yeah. Like they exist, but they don't really have any impact.
They got like, what is it, Assassin's Creed, and then what really else are they known for?
Well, yeah, besides like Far Cry and Rainbow Six, right? Everything else they kind of like took out back and shot, right?
Yeah.
Like, even like Far Cry and Rainbow Six got taken out back and shot, and they've said they want to only push for Assassin's Creed now because it's the only franchise that makes money. And then Shadows got delayed, and Shadows looks like it's going to probably underperform because of the whole Yasuke like drama.
Dude,
so
I feel like they don't know. They don't have a vision. They don't know what they want to do with their stuff, and it just feels like they have no passion in it anymore. And this is Ubisoft we're talking about. I mean, let's go back, 10 years ago. Every E3, people were getting excited for Ubisoft. Ubisoft had their own freaking conference. And now look at where they are. And it's just, here's the question, like, and I'm half joking, I'm half being serious when I ask this. Does Ubisoft even want to make games anymore?
I mean, right? Like, Ubisoft doesn't want to make games, they want to make money. Like, that's really like I think that's their thing. Like they're not even like pushing for like movies and stuff. Like Ubisoft is literally all over the place. They do not understand like what they want to do. Like they're just like, well, we want to make these historical epic like they wanted to do the historical what were they called? They had them in Origins and Odyssey and Valhalla, the Discovery tours, right? Like those like historical like living things that you could explore, like go put in like classrooms and everywhere. And then they didn't do that for Mirage, and then they gave up, right? And then they might bring it back for Shadows, but I doubt it. And yeah, it's like Ubisoft used to also like their games they were putting out used to have some soul in them, and then after a while they just stopped. Like they're made on the cheap. I remember my brother picking up Assassin's Creed Valhalla for free on the PS Plus thing, and I was like, just so you know, this isn't like a Red Dead, right? Like these games are made on the cheap. They're not very great, like you're not gonna.
What has Ubisoft really done in the last, we'll say 5 to 7 years? What have they really done that's been like, outstanding or revolutionary or change the industry? It's just
So nothing revolutionary, nothing changed the industry. It's been a lot of like formulaic, like the same shit every year, right? Like The only thing that I can think of that gave them any notable like cool was the Rabbids Mario crossover games. That was it. Which are just like XCOM clones.
I'm kind of, I don't know. Like, part of me is sad because I loved playing the OG Assassin's Creed, and we've already had like a long discussion about that.
Yeah.
I used to be a big Assassin's Creed fan, and now just to see what the company has become, I mean, I stopped caring about Ubisoft after a certain point when they killed Desmond. but so I became kind of apathetic to the company. But at the same time, when I look at how much joy they used to bring me and what they've become now, and now we have the possibility of them being sold off, it's kind of sad.
Yeah. They used to be a titan of the video game industry, right? Like it was like Ubisoft and like Bethesda, right? And then both fell off.
Oh God, Bethesda fell off big time, man.
I mean, but like Bethesda did get bought at the very least, but like Bethesda never had to like push to get a buyout though. like it's kind of sad when you think about it. The idea of just like, listen, we need the money and we're ready to have something change, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you why they're having to push for this. We were just talking about it. It's look at what they've done to their IPs, to their franchises.
Yeah.
They've meandered around. They have no vision for them. They have let these things they're not dead. I mean, Assassin's Creed is obviously still going.
No, Assassin's Creed is a reanimate, or it's like a corpse that's being puppeted by strings.
Yeah.
Like that's Assassin's Creed. Everything else is dead.
I
Like
mean,
Splinter Cell is dead.
Splinter Cell's dead.
I mean, this is so crazy when you think about it, because just think about how big Splinter Cell used to be. I mean, it's just, why have they done this? Like, what was the thought process?
Just really, people bought Assassin's Creed like crazy, but then like then they started making Assassin's Creeds cheaper and cheaper and worse, and then it was like, what are you doing here? Like Unity, technology wise, and like the movement and everything, the stealth is the best Assassin's Creed. It's like, as far as like peak goes, right? As like technology and like what Assassin's Creed could be in evolution technology wise and like working on consoles. And then they backtracked hard for the other ones. And it was like, you play Valhalla and it feels like your assassin is like covered in butter. And you're like, it feels like I'm playing a game from like the PS2, like movements all messed up. Like how did we lose so much over a couple of years? And you know, and I'll sing Valhalla's praises. I was just looking through my PlayStation play library and they're like play times, and I feel like Valhalla was at like almost 500, maybe like 400 hours, something like that. Like I played Valhalla a lot, and it's like it's one of those. It's that meme about like the Steam review, and it says this game sucks. 2,000 hours played, right? Like that's Valhalla for me. But this Shadows, right? Like I had it written on my calendar when Shadows was going to come out, and that was in November, like late November, and then they delayed it. But it's like I was going to pre-order it, but I still haven't pre-ordered it. And then now it's coming out February 14th, I believe, or 15th. I'm not going to pre-order it probably, which is going to be the first time in a long time I didn't pre-order an Assassin's Creed game. Because like they used to be a thing, right? They used to be cool, and then now I'm just like, I don't know if I want to anymore.
So if somebody buys them, who do we think that would be most likely?
Well, I mean, Tencent has the ball in their court. Basically, they're like, they asked them like, Tencent, do you want to buy us? And then if you do, we want to have this Guillemot family.
Who's Tencent?
I'm googling them now. I've heard the name before. A Chinese multinational technology conglomerate. Yeah, we did say there we had heard that already.
Oh God.
They own Epic. They own Epic Games, Roblox, Riot. So they got some stuff at least. Like that are making money at the very least.
Is Epic Games, do they do Gears of War?
No, they're owned by Microsoft, the people that did Gears of War.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to see if there's a so yeah, Riot Games. They have League of Legends. Yes, there's a lot of like Techland. I've heard of them. They did Dying Light. Don't Nod. You know, everyone loves Don't Nod. Like, come on.
Never heard of her.
What the hell is Don't Nod?
Yeah.
Don't Nod made Life is Strange.
Oh.
And the Life is
Wait,
Strange
I thought
games.
Square Enix did.
Yeah, the Square Enix published it. Remember, we had this conversation before with the whole Power Wash Simulator debacle. Publish it. Make it. Square Enix publishes more than they really kind of make. Epic Games, Bloober Team, they made a Silent Hill 2 remake recently.
I still need to check that out.
They own 62% in From Software. Oh, so this is percentage-based stuff. So it's not like what they own. This is percentage-based. So they own some stake in From Software. And it says they own 9% in Ubisoft. And so they're basically just like, give us... okay, so wholly owned. Okay, so wholly owned. They have some stuff. Majority. Yeah, so Don't Nod is their really highest, is really with the 42%. But yeah, so they, you know, they have some stuff that, like I said, they have Techland, who made Dying Light. They own majority control of that. So, you know, they're not... I'm not saying that I wouldn't trust them, I suppose. Like, as bad as it is to say...
Them.
What?
I wonder why they picked them.
Well, because they already own the 10% in the company. So they're just like, hey, you got money, right? They're also, besides the Guillemot family, they're the second highest. They said in the article, it's the second highest, like, controlling shareholder.
So if they were to buy Ubisoft, any guesses on what would happen with these IPs? Like, would they reboot them, or like?
I would hope that if they got control of Ubisoft, they would recognize, like, all right, people want, like they did Silent Hill, or like they know about Silent Hill 2 remake. They didn't do it, but they know about it. You know, Konami pushed that. Like, that's like, if there was like Splinter Cell remake, right? We got something like that. That's, you know, that's possible. I don't know, like I would hope that whoever gets Ubisoft has the, you know, like has the idea to be like, all right, we're going to push for a proper, like, return to a franchise, right? Like Assassin's Creed shouldn't be a yearly release thing. Assassin's Creed should be every like 2 to 3 to 4 years, and put some time, put some love into it. You're doing these big open worlds. You need some open worlds with some like Red Dead time, right? Like Red Dead time put into it. Really blow our minds, right?
Well, let me tell you what would bring me back. If they bought Assassin's Creed, you know, I'd probably be like, no, you're a Chinese company. I don't trust you. I'm walking away. And then they're like, we're gonna bring back Desmond. And I turn around and be like, shit, dude, that's all you had to say.
So it's funny you say that, Jesker. Desmond did come back in the ending of Valhalla.
Yeah, I know. We talked about this.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Oh, well, you know what? It's not even really Desmond. It's just the whole.
It's his consciousness.
Well, I mean, like, it wasn't just getting rid of Desmond in Assassin's Creed 3, because that was one thing, like him making the sacrifice.
It's the death of the modern day story.
Yes. It's, I mean, the fucking ancients,
they gave up.
I mean, it's just all that shit just thrown out, and that's the problem. Like, if they get killed off Desmond and then they replaced him with another character, but they picked up the same storyline, and it's like, okay, you know, we're following this new character, but we're still dealing with the same villains and everything.
Yeah.
You know, with Juno, then it'd be like, okay, cool, fine, whatever. But
yeah, it took them like 5 years to even reintroduce a modern day protagonist that went longer than one game. And then she died in the third game. Like,
it's just,
Yeah, we have a whole clip up of me and Jessica talking about Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I don't want to reiterate it again,
Yeah,
but like if they want to win me back, whoever buys Ubisoft, that's how you win me back.
Show some respect to the IP, right?
Yes.
Like announce Assassin's Creed 1 remake would also, or a remake or a good remaster. Like that, instead of Ubisoft trying to scam Singapore and giving us a Black Flag remake that doesn't need to exist because Black Flag's already like S tier goated. And all you gotta do is just remaster it. But no, they're gonna, because they're trying to scam the Singapore government by making a shitty pirate game that no one liked. They're gonna reuse all the assets and make Assassin's Creed 4 remake, which is gonna be the only way to play next gen Assassin's Creed 4, which is gonna suck. I hope that we get like a what was it? Was like a reverse Shadow of the Colossus. Like the Shadow of Colossus remaster was like buggy and terrible, and so then they're like, all right, fine, we'll do a whole remake of it, but like do a reverse of it, where it's like, I don't want the remake, I just need a remaster. That's all I want. But anyway, yeah. So, Grumpy says they tried to turn Assassin's Creed into Madden. I hate them for that. Yeah, the yearly releases, the Call of Duty.
When you said that too.
Yeah, I think it was Call of Duty did that. It was like they were going off of that model more than Madden. And even Madden's proven that system can't work. And Madden is the easiest one to do it because it's literally copy and paste. But Madden still fucks it up.
Mm-hmm.
Tencent and NetEase, the created Marvel Rivals, equals the Chinese government. Yeah, if you want to look at it that way, it's a communist country. Technically that is how it works. AC equals massive disappointment. Yeah, it's, like I said, I'm a big AC fan, like my thing says on here. I gave more money to Ubisoft than any buyout ever could. Like I've done it all,
Simp.
Where am I? There we go. I've done it. I'm guilty of doing it. Mainly it's just Assassin's Creed and buying the DLCs and stuff. Never really went anywhere else as far as, I did play Far Cry 5. I love Far Cry 5. That's like the last good Far Cry game.
I did not get into any of the Far Cries. I was not a fan.
I keep calling you a simp, but I've done the same thing for Square Enix.
That is true. But I will say too, and like because I own all the
software guy.
I own all the Kingdom Hearts games as well. I bought them all. When I bought them all on sale. But
now see, you're not a real fan. See, I bought all the handheld games and all the systems to go with it.
The console to go with them. Yeah,
that's right. Because I'm a Square simp. That's what I am. Yes, sir.
But no, and then another news came out that they announced that Assassin's Creed Shadows will have a canon mode, which means that because Assassin's Creed Shadows, like Odyssey and Valhalla, has choices, but so if you don't want to have choices because you want to play an Assassin's Creed game that did, because they don't have choices, right? You can turn on canon mode and it will just pick the choices as they are, meant to be, right? So it's the canon story of the game.
I don't understand this. Like, if you're gonna have a canon mode,
exactly,
just have a story mode without choices.
Yeah,
you know what? It's called a single player game. Every other company knows how to do this. Like, what's wrong with these people?
Yeah, even Mirage, I feel like had choices like a few times, but Mirage, and I've talked about Mirage was actually not bad. I would say it's up there. It's like it tried its hardest to do what it could do with what it was given for that company's brand new game. There was their only time they were holding their own game, but it was Mirage not bad. Grumpy says I was down for AC. I was practically a Ubisoft sim. They were making good games. Then they stopped doing that. They just couldn't be bothered anymore.
I'm depressed, Wizard. I'm depressed.
It hurts.
I'm very depressed right now.
It hurts to find out that they and then of course people were mad that then they point out you can play the game with choices if you want. Can mode's just there. Like AC1 to Syndicate. Which I mean, technically it should be AC1 to Origins because there's no decisions in Origins. There's dialogue options, but not really. It was just like, I will do this quest or I won't. Like, it was just a yes or a no. But even then it was like, so yeah, this AC1 to Origins. Yeah, made Assassin's Creed to an open world RPG and then decided it was a mistake. So I see this as them deciding to no longer go with choices. This might... the thing is, like, they want to be The Witcher so bad. They've always wanted to be The Witcher ever since Ubisoft came out, or ever since Origins came out. It's like, have to be The Witcher, have to do The Witcher. And you have dialogue options and dialogue trees and all that for all that, you know. But yeah, they want to be The Witcher, and they're not gonna be. So, but
I mean, be your own thing, like Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed was its own thing, you know.
Yeah,
like it used to be.
I mean, like there was people trying to be Assassin's Creed. Like, why would you throw that away?
Like Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor, right? Tries to be Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, that's a
Batman
great example.
Batman Arkham Asylum has Assassin's Creed elements in it, you know.
That's
like,
true. That's true.
It kind of started it, you know. Same with and then it spun off into it with Arkham City. The idea of just like, yeah, you go up to this building, you jump down, you grab the guy, you know, like there's no social stealth, but like that's the thing. Like Hitman is spun off from Assassin's Creed, right? Like, you know, parkour stuff, you know, Mirror's Edge has some Assassin's Creed. Like they all had, you know, they all had it.
Yeah, it's a
Preston
big
says
franchise for them.
I don't play many video games. I'm just here to support Wizard. Thanks, Preston. That's weird that you don't play video games though. But yeah, so yeah, Music Master is here. Hello, Music Master.
Hello.
Grumpy says, I own, but I've never played AC Unity and the British one. My heart just ain't in it. So Unity's pretty good. Stories, meh. If you don't like a romance story that wastes your time, but if you do like a very beautiful redhead, no, Unity's good. Syndicate is a lot of like trying to like fix what Unity was. So it's like, well, we can't be funny or we can't be serious because Unity was like that. So we got to be funny, and we can't have the parkour be a certain way because Unity was like that. So we're going to do, you know, so it was a lot of like Ubisoft not recognizing that Unity only bombed because they rushed it and it was buggy and all this stuff. They recognized it for Origins, but for Syndicate, they're like full steam ahead. But the DLC for Syndicate was great. It's a great DLC.
I don't know, man. It's just, I'm just depressed, Wizard. Like this is a depressing story. Like I'm just, like it's over, man. It's just I think Wizard has the best nerd live stream on Wednesdays.
Wednesdays now.
Yo, that's Cynic being nice for once, man. It's a Christmas miracle. But
his heart grew 3 sizes to
it's just really, I don't know, man. Like I grew up when Ubisoft I didn't grow up, but I was like what, in high school, starting to head into college when Ubisoft was like just really killing it, man. And then it was such a tight, like you said, a titan of the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just I just feel so bad for it. I want to take it out back and Old Yeller it. I mean that's where I'm at now.
Yeah, you wanna it's like, please just stop becoming a shell of yourself. At least Bethesda does the same things they always did, and that's part of their problem. Ubisoft just is doing the same things but worse.
Bethesda needs to fucking update their fucking
engine, their gameplay style. Like Bethesda needs a complete overhaul. But speaking of people who need to just be done and give up, hold on. Music Master asks, what's my favorite Ubisoft property? Well, it's Assassin's Creed.
It was Assassin's Creed for me.
Honestly, I guess I was never a fan of any of their games, really. I don't really care for Splinter Cell, Rainbow Six, Far Cry, Assassin's Creed.
Cynic says my penis grew 3 sizes when I was given an early Christmas present today.
Yeah.
I guess his favorite cousin came over to visit.
Okay, moving on. So like I said, speaking of people who need to give up, Craven the Hunter has debuted with 9% on Rotten Tomatoes, lower than Madam Web.
Oof.
Dag, dude.
I didn't see him. I don't see him as Craven at all, dude.
He doesn't look bad here, but it's
I
like
him a lot, but not as Craven.
He got bulky. Aaron Taylor Johnson got bulky, but
oh yeah, but
when you're losing to Madam Web, that's I'm even more you know what, Cynic? I'm even more depressed now.
Well, like
give me something to be happy about, Wizard.
Well, I will in here in a few seconds, but I want to say about Craven that it was funny that or Madam Web actually, when Madam Web came out, it was like, oh my god, this is worse than Morbius. Imagine being worse than that. And then this comes out like, oh my god, this is worse than Madam Web. Ooh. Imagine being worse than that.
I'm curious to see why it's so bad.
Hello, my
trailers weren't terrible. Some of the CGI looked horrifically bad, but
I'm just convinced at this point that honestly, a movie with Spider-Man characters without Spider-Man, it doesn't work.
You just you can make it work, but they just can't get it right.
Well, Venom 1 to 3 worked more or less, but Venom had that star power already, right?
Yep.
So it's funny you say that, Jesker. Sony's Spider-Man villain spinoff universe is dead.
Damn.
According to the Wrap, Craven the Hunter will be the final film for now.
That's a shame, kinda.
I mean, I like the Venom films, but overall, I think that this is it's an experiment that hasn't worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially like the ones they were planning on doing, right? The El Muerte movie, which the guy appeared in one issue. There was the what else did they had? Let me look it up and see if there's a list of it. But Madam Web finally happened. They wanted to make that for a while, and that was a waste of time. Someone made a really funny meme about like the credits for Craven the Hunter, and it was a video that was the hope you've had a time of your life, like at the end of Deadpool 3, but it was all like the behind the scenes from the Sony movies and stuff. And it was pretty funny.
Oh my god.
Damn. Wrecked.
And also they've I don't know, like they've not done a very good job of expressing like the comic, like the versions of the characters like that we're all used to. I mean, and Madam Web is the worst example of this. To me, Madam Web has been and always will be the old lady in the chair.
Yeah.
That's Madam Web.
Voiced by Stan Lee's wife.
Right. Exactly. So I don't know, man. Like what they need to do is they need to just give in and give us Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 4 and Andrew
okay.
Garfield.
Well, let's not be crazy here. Does anyone
Wait,
does anyone really want Spider-Man 4?
How long have you been living under a rock, Wizard?
I mean, I don't know if you've seen Spider-Man 3. Like
Spider-Man, but people do love Tobey Maguire still.
Yeah,
I get it, but I'm just saying, like, it's like if Spider-Man 4 in that range, I'd be there. I'd be there day one. But at the same time, it's like sometimes you don't have to keep going back.
Yeah,
I agree. No, but what I'm saying is that movie, if they do Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 4, that movie is going to make a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the upcoming movies that they had planned. Night Watch, based on the character Night Watch, who I've never heard of, but he looks cool, but looks like 90s Edge.
Hell yeah.
Heard of the character, know nothing about him.
Yeah. They rewrote the script. There was Jackpot, which I believe is, well, I know in modern times it's Mary Jane, but yeah, but it's a jackpot movie.
The
so it's
well
like,
is running dry.
yeah, it's like we're scraping the barrel here. Untitled, Robert Orci. Sony hired the Amazing Spider-Man 2 co-writer. Oh, there's a real hit. Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like, don't want leave that. Don't have anyone who made those movies touch movies again.
Yes, Amazing Spider-Man 2. I don't like calling movies bad or complete shit, but man, that movie sucked.
I actually really like the first Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, first one's good. First one is good. Yeah,
Yeah,
don't get me wrong.
I really like the first one.
The second one, they were trying to do way too much, and it turned out to be mediocre.
The plot will be based on a property from a different corner of the Marvel universe that Sony has access to, rather than a character affiliated with Spider-Man. So that's interesting because besides like the Venom stuff and like Null and stuff like that, which Null did get worked in for Venom 3, like they very specifically only have Spider-Man related characters. So interesting. Untitled Olivia Wilde project. Olivia Wilde signed on to develop and direct a female-centric Marvel film for Sony. With her writing partner, project had been in high priority studios, and it was believed to feature with Spider-Woman. El Muerto, starring Bad Bunny.
Oh my god, that dude is such a goofball.
Wrestler who has superhuman strength and looked to move quickly in project, but made a surprise appearance. Blah blah blah. Yeah, they've been spinning their wheels on this too. Untitled Hypno Hustler film. Sony was revealed to be developing a film centered on the character Hypno Hustler, with Donald Glover set to star and produce. It's like just the worst people, like the worst characters you can think of.
Yeah, and I can't stand Donald Glover.
Who cares about these characters, man?
Other projects. Sony was considering a film centered around Mysterio, with Jake Gyllenhaal cast and role from Far From Home, spin-off from the MCU film, Spider-Verse film starring Spider-Man's a spin-off film from the MCU Spider-Man films or the animated Spider-Verse film starring Aunt May was suggested.
Oh my god.
A notion that Sony previously referred to as silly.
You don't want to give villains too much exposure because then they start to kind of lose their mystique.
Yeah, there is, as it points out here, there is going to be a Spider-Man Noir TV show that's being filmed right now with Nicolas Cage playing live action Spider-Man Noir. So,
yep,
that's not.
I mean,
we'll see. Cool. We'll see where that goes. There's supposed to be a Silk show. Silk doesn't work without Spider-Man. That's like the whole point of the character. Yeah, Silver and Black they've been trying to do forever with Silver Sable and Black Cat. That ain't gonna. None of this is gonna happen anymore. Like they are.
I wonder. I imagine a world where there's no Marvel films anymore. It's just comics.
All they need to do, man. I'm just. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 4 is what would save their ass. Because, I mean, especially after No Way... I mean, people were clamoring for it after No Way Home.
Okay, so really what you do... Because really a Spider-Man 4 would cost more money at this point than you'd probably get out of it. Really what you do... What you do, Jesker, is if you're Sony, you give up and sell the film rights to Disney. You give up.
If Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire came out, it's hitting that $1 billion club easy.
I'm saying it can hit $1 billion, but the thing with modern movies is that they cost around $1 billion to make them. And you try to like, yeah, Tobey lost his star power, but more or less he's coming back now. It's like, okay, you get Tobey in. Like, do you get what's his face play the Vulture that he was originally planned to? Do you get Bruce Campbell play Mysterio?
Wait a minute. No.
Do you try to hit all those original, Kirsten Dunst back as
John
MJ,
Malkovich.
Right?
No.
John Malkovich.
No, it's not going to be the original plan they had for Spider-Man 4. It would be something that probably focuses on Peter Parker as a father.
Yeah, you want to do like an Ultimate Spider-Man thing, that can work.
That's what it would be, because again, we already know from No Way Home, he ended up with MJ. They sorted things out. That was confirmed in No Way Home.
Well,
and hold up. Oh. I'm not saying you need a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4. I don't think we do, because I think that the main plot of that entire story was wrapped up in Spider-Man 3. The plot around that set of films revolved around the friendship of Peter Parker Mary Jane Watson, and Harry Osborn. And at the end of Spider-Man 3, Harry and Peter, they forgive each other. The last scene implies that Peter and MJ probably work things out. No Way Home confirms that Peter and MJ work things out. So really, the story there is done. You don't need Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 4. I'm not saying that we need it. In fact, I would, and I did a video on this, by the way. I would rather have Amazing Spider-Man 3 because Tobey Maguire's not Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker, his story is unfinished. It's incomplete. It never had a real ending. That one is the one that we need more than anything. And I would rather have that over Spider-Man 4. But what I'm saying is, from a financial standpoint, if Sony wants to save themselves and save what control of Spider-Man they have left, the answer is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 4.
Yeah. Spider-Verse is also still making money. That third movie is still going to happen. That wins their accolades. That doesn't. Like, honestly, I'd be like, stop doing live action and do those animated stuff. Would probably more like my push. But no, I was gonna say that, like, he said that he worked things out with MJ, but that just means that he actually, just watches the kids while MJ and her new boyfriend Paul.
Oh!
I swear to God.
Oh shit!
That is not what I took away from that movie.
You take that back right now. Don't you speak that into the world.
Yeah,
don't do it.
Don't you. I will hurt you in ways that you never thought a person could be.
They added Paul into Venom's comics now.
No.
He's in Paul. Venom's comics.
Fuck,
might even
fuck
be in mine, dude.
Paul. No.
Paul in every comic.
As far as I know, all right, and you ain't gonna change this. No one's gonna change this. Right now in Tobey Maguire's universe, that Peter Parker and that MJ are happily married with a little kid that has spider powers, and everything is awesome. And Peter is going to be, what you say?
I said
Peter
Mayday.
Parker.
Mayday. That's the name of the kid. Mayday.
Oh, I thought you said one more day. I was about to drive to wherever you are and slap the shit out.
That happened in No Way Home, technically. That was their best they were gonna do out of that.
Yeah, but it was 1,000 times better than what we got in the comic.
It was. I'm just saying that was as close to one more day as you're gonna get.
But
imagine Spider-Man 4 directed by Sam Raimi. Spider-Man 4, one more day.
Don't break.
And it's like Pete Davidson cast to play Paul in Spider-Man 4.
Oh my God!
Don't break me like that.
Don't say that you wouldn't go see just to see what would happen.
No.
It depends on what the story is.
God bless America. No, please, no. God, no.
And then it's just like a lie. That's what I would do. I would call it one more day, and then I would just not be. Just make people like they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it, and then it's like doesn't happen.
Oh no.
Okay, no. Spider-Man 4, but you get permission to have Tobey Maguire team up with Ben Affleck, Daredevil.
Fuck yeah.
You know what?
Sucks that Michael Clark Duncan's dead, though. Because Michael Clark Duncan and them would be cool. But
the fight scenes in that movie are sick as fuck. Say what you want about that movie. And all the Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi fight scenes are underrated. The final fight between Spider-Man and Green Goblin is brutal shit.
Bro, to this day, the Sam Raimi trilogy is still the best set of Spider-Man films.
Yeah.
And look, I honestly think Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, not Peter Parker, but as Spider-Man, is a better Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. But
I loved him as both, actually, Spider-Man and Peter Parker.
What, you think Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker is good?
Andrew's Peter is different. He's a cooler Peter. He's not like a nerd Peter. Like Toby,
he's more of like the cool outcast kind of.
Okay.
He's I'm not saying it's bad, but if we're talking about comic accurate, it's not comic accurate.
Yeah, he's based off of more of the Ultimate Spider-Man, though, isn't he?
Well,
Probably, but I wouldn't know what Ultimate Peter was like.
Yeah, actually, I don't either. I've only read.
You know what? You know what?
Spider-Man issues.
I'm not going to say he's directly based off of Ultimate Peter Parker, but he's closer to that than Toby's version.
Yeah. Toby was definitely classic Peter.
Grumpy says Andrew Garfield was a better Spider-Man, and his Peter Parker is not Peter Parker. Grumpy always with the strong stances.
Hell yeah!
And this has been my stance. Brother. This has been my stance for a while. Somewhere between Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is the perfect on-screen Spider-Man, and we haven't got that yet. We have not gotten that yet. Tom Holland, I love him in No Way Home, but for the vast majority of his appearances in the MCU, he's not been Spider-Man. He's been Iron Boy. He's been Tony Stark's sidekick.
I thought he was awesome as Spider-Man in Civil War, and I thought that's
Civil War. Civil War is really the best depictions of everyone in that movie. And it sucks that the Russos couldn't kind of like keep that momentum. Like Infinity War has it, but then Endgame kind of dips for a lot of them. Like they all kind of get taken. It's kind of
just a payoff movie.
I mean, it's, and one of the reasons that I love No Way Home is because that was the first time I felt like, okay, now Tom Holland is Spider-Man. Now he feels like the character.
Which, if we're going off of like, Tobey Maguire is like your classic 60s Spider-Man, right? You're nerdy Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield is your 2000s, 90s to 2000s cooler Peter Parker. Tom Holland is your aughts to 2010s like Parker Industries Peter Parker, where he's like super smart and he's like the little Tony Stark. Like that happened in the comics too. They didn't pull that out of their ass. Peter,
I know, but I'm just saying, I'm always going to appeal to the more classic version of the characters. That's
of course
always going to attract me more.
So,
I didn't like how it was a lot Iron Man involved either. That just takes away from Spider-Man. I mean, what's the point of doing the solo films if you're just going to have all the other Avengers?
And even then, I wish that we would have gotten it like with the trailer at the shot at the end of the trailer for Homecoming with Iron Man and Spider-Man flying at the same time. I wish that we would have gotten a proper Iron Man Spider-Man movie instead of the kind of half and half that they kind of did. It would have been cool to have like actual Iron Man fight, like Iron Man and the Vulture and Spider-Man. You know, like they made it work. Like they wanted it to be like we get Iron Man for people to come in, but then also like he's not actually there. And people watch that movie. They like the Tony Stark and the Peter dynamic. You watch,
and like you said, to be fair, it is kind of comic accurate. And Spider-Man crossed over a fuckload in the comics.
Yeah,
he was with
Spider-Man's
like
always showing up.
Fantastic Four, fucking Iron Man.
And then the problem was with Far From Home that the shadow of Tony Stark was still kind of there, and it was a good story, but going over to Europe and doing all that was just, it was unneeded. It was too much. It was not, that was really the losing of the plot for Spider-Man and the whole, like, you're the next Iron Man kind of thing. And it was the same thing. If you look at the leaks that came out for the Kang Dynasty, that is what they were setting up, is that Peter Parker, Tom Holland's Peter Parker, was kind of going to be like the new face of the MCU. I don't believe that, strictly because of the legal things. Snowman, are you scratching something?
Yeah, my bad.
Mute yourself if you're gonna jostle. No, it's just strictly because of the legal stuff that happens with Spider-Man, where it's like he could just disappear from the movies if Sony says otherwise, kind of thing. And so I don't feel like they were really ever setting that up.
Then why in the leaks did they say he is the anchor being of the MCU?
Oh, he's definitely not the anchor being as far as like Deadpool Wolverine goes.
That was in the leaks, dude.
I'm just saying that it's like they could say all they want, but like what it says in the leaks versus what comes to fruition in final product is.
I mean, it's not gonna come to fruition now because the Kang Dynasty has been canceled. but that was the plan, is that like they were going to have like Andrew was going to be the anchor being of his universe. Toby was the anchor being of his universe, and Tom Holland was going to be the anchor being of the MCU. And they were setting it up to where he was kind of going, because they were going to have like different characters from different universes show up to deal with the Kang dynasty. And like Tom Holland was going to take a leadership role. Like they were setting him up to be the face of the MCU, to be the next Tony Stark, essentially.
Well, well, and that is different than what I meant when they were like more about how they played him into being the next Tony Stark in, Far From Home, and that he was like meant to be the next Tony Stark, full on like technological wise too, and all that stuff. Like I feel like if they're going to do that, you'd be Reed as your next Tony Stark. But I will say that we were talking about it with the Kang Dynasty and all that, but Avengers Doomsday had some news that came out recently. Chris Evans has been cast to be in Avengers Doomsday. Do you hear that? That's the sound of glass breaking, as the in case of emergency has been done.
It's like, dude, so you could have just been Captain America still, dickhead?
All hands on deck.
You know what this is, don't you? Ah, shit. We screwed it up. Bring back the old guys. Bring it back. Cut it back now. I don't care. I don't care how much they ask for. Give them money.
At this point, you could have been Captain America still, then, asshole. What a fucking yeah. Words I can't say on this stream.
Like, what are we gonna like? What are we? So it'd be remiss not to mention the fact that Chris Evans did come back in the very recent MCU property, right? For a cameo where he's not Captain America.
So they. Oh, it says unknown who's playing. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. So we don't know who he's necessarily going to play. It's just that he's been cast. If they try to do a Doom switcheroo kind of thing, where it's like Robert Downey Jr., if he's playing Victor Von Doom and not a Tony Stark or whatever, right? So it's like, is Chris Evans going to be Hyperion or something, right? Like, what are we getting here?
Fuck it. At this point, fuck it.
Like,
I mean, I kind of like Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, but it's at the same time, it's like, man, y'all could have got someone like way more menacing and like
Mads
gritty.
Mikkelsen.
Yeah,
Mads Mikkelsen as Doctor Doom would have been amazing.
And it's almost like, oh, really, fucking Robert Downey Jr. It's almost too predictable.
Yeah,
I mean, it all just screams of desperation.
Oh yeah, this is. Like, you say what you will about the casting of Doom, right? And many have, being desperate and all that, but there's this. I still kind of want to see it too. That's the thing. I am, I do want to see it, but that. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I think.
But this is
having
ridiculous.
Dr. Doom
Chris
be your
Evans.
This is, yeah.
I think having Dr. Doom be your new Thanos I think that's the right move. Like, look, Kang,
or at least your new Loki.
Listen, Kang. No. I think he makes better sense to be the overall villain. Kang, I like, but I never really thought Kang really had the potential to be a Thanos type of villain. To me, Kang should have always been kind of the like a one-off Avengers villain, kind of like Ultron or something.
Yeah.
Actually,
even Ultron shouldn't have been a one-off villain. Like, he should have been a problem that they kind of had to. Which, I mean, he is coming back. There is that. We don't know how, but he will be in the Vision show.
Yeah, he was
Vision
built
show.
up kinda, and then he had his one film, and then was kind of never heard from again.
Yeah, like Jay Sonic says, Ultron should have been after Thanos. Yeah, they should have. Ultron should have been the next big bad. Like they should have, like,
crazy. Kind
of like how like Earth's Mightiest Heroes kind of did it, right? As you go through these arcs with these villains, that's what you had to do. Kang is a one-shot movie done. That is true. Kang didn't need to be this big bad overarching guy. Kang should have been a one-off. Avengers like Kang War, Age of Kang should have come out in 2013, and we should be building to Ultron being the big bad right now with Hank Pym making him and all that stuff.
Well, I don't know about all that. Like, I think listen, what I would have done is like after phase 3, like I would have had like phase 4 be like building up like a new team of Avengers. Not really a reboot, but kind of a refresh. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then so the next film would have been called The New Avengers. It would have had Tom Holland Spider-Man as the leader. You could have had Shang-Chi. You could have had whoever. I don't care. All right.
Yeah.
Just whoever you decide to put in there. And then you have Kang coming to the MCU universe. And this is where we start introducing the multiverse stuff, because he's like, I've come to invade this place because there's going to be something here that's going to screw everything up. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to conquer this place. And like they have to fight him and everything. But he's defeated. But then you're left wondering at the end of the movie, okay, what is he talking about where the MCU is going to screw everything up and there's like this larger threat out there, and it leaves you wondering. So now you go into the next phase and you know there's like something greater going on here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
like,
that would have, of course, that would have led up to eventually Doctor Doom.
Yeah, Jay Sonic says, why not introduce the Masters of Evil? It's another big misstep. Like, it took us 15 years to get the leader or whatever, like 12, 13 years, whatever it's in, to get the leader back on screen, when like leader should have been like in Avengers, like the another better second Avengers movie is the Masters of Evil. You get the leader, Abomination, you know, you bring Amora the Enchantress, you know, Zemo, you know, even like Zemo now disappeared, right? But no, we're like, if you get me Ultron, you know, on a movie, right? You give me this Ultron. You give me Tom Kane, who sadly can no longer voice act, but Tom Kane was the Ultron, like as a kid, right? By the way, watch Next Avengers: Heroes of Tomorrow. It's a great movie.
Even your mere existence causes chaos, Avenger. But soon there will be order.
Like
These
this is.
children you have kept hidden. They will
This is
be
nice.
found.
I mean, Spader was good too.
Spader was a different, you know, like Spader was a.
False. Like all humans, they are inherently illogical.
What are you talking about?
Like, yeah, it's basically just that the Tom Kane, he also voices him in Earth's Mightiest Heroes. And he is just like, he's cold, he's robotic, but still evil, he's still smart, you know, there's a lot to him. But yeah, so yeah, Chris Evans being brought back is desperation. It's
Yeah, fuck him for that, dude.
like,
Unless it's Captain America.
I mean, even if it is Captain America, like if it's Captain America, then cool. But it's like, he said he doesn't want to be Cap because he has to get so ripped to do it, and he has to go through all this work. So like, is he going to do that, or are they going to CGI?
Oh, sorry.
Are they going to CGI him in the thing, right? But anyway, yeah. So this
Same thing with
news,
Pattinson is Batman. It's like, dude, work out a little bit, man. You'll be
Yeah,
more
well, I mean, like-
imposing, you'll be more believable.
for the MCU, they got to like take the steroids and they got to do all that to get like as ripped as they do. But also, like, depending on the suit, if he's just in the suit, you don't have to get super ripped, right? You can just cover
Yeah,
up.
because Bale in Batman Begins, he got yoked. He got like fat jacked kind of, and then
Yeah.
in Dark Knight and Rises, he was just like withered compared to that.
Yeah. You know, it's hard to get to that. And then remember, they're filming for a long time, so you got to keep that. You know,
Just
but
stay in shape mostly, and then it's not as hard to get that crazy jacked.
Grumpy says that is why the Batman sucked. Pattinson didn't want to work out. Well, like Hugh Jackman for
I like the
Deadpool 3
Batman
talked about
stuff.
how like he was like he was dehydrated. So, like when he
Now,
he
Hugh
plays
Jackman
Wolverine, he's
was,
like dehydrated.
Crazy shredded. Chris Evans was not that fucking jacked, dude. He was
I mean,
in
like
great shape, and he was jacked.
Civil
but-
War, he's pretty big, and then he tones down.
But I think that's just a weak excuse because it doesn't take that long to get that jacked, and then like after the movie's done, you can chill for a while.
Well, like
So-
Captain America 1, you know, he had this is like, you know, bulk, like this is natural, kind of like just bulky muscle. And then for the other ones, I feel like they enhanced him and all this, but
And for millions and millions and millions of dollars, that is the lamest
Yeah.
excuse I've ever heard.
Or like when he was Human Torch, they are right. Like when he's Human Torch, he's a lean, and then like then it's bulkier. And this has looked more natural than what we kind of get in the later movies. And it's like, all right, are we enhancing here? What are we doing, right? You know, so oh yeah, so oh, I didn't have him on screen. Yeah, like
yeah, dude,
yeah, like,
there's gym bros walking around all day like that. That is not that serious of jackness.
well, I mean, I think it just is the scheduling and all this. But all I know is that he said that he doesn't like playing him because he has to work out and get all that. And so I'm assuming that if he is Captain America, he'll either do it, he'll like Hugh Jackman did. It's like, yeah, just fuck it, just do it. Or they'll cover him up, use CGI, whatever they're gonna do. Hello, Stray Beans. But oh yeah, so speaking of, I
What's
don't
up,
have a
Stray
good,
Beans?
this was a funny story. So itch.io, which is a indie game like website you can post your indie games.
I used to
They
go
tweeted
there
out
all the time.
They tweeted out, I kid you not, itch.io has been taken down by original Funko, so Funko Pop, because they use some trash AI-powered brand protection software called Brand Shield LTD that created some bogus phishing report to our register, who ignored our response and just disabled the domain. So they break this down, and basically what happened is that someone made a fake Funko game on the itch.io, which Funko's like brand protection AI caught, and then was like, well, we're going to take this down. But that took like the whole website down basically. And people were like, what happened? Like, and then they were kind of going off on Funko a little bit, this itch.io people, which then led to this, which is, this is not a joke. Funko just called my mom. And so there was a screenshot of a text. Got a strange call from a company about accusatory statements on your social media account.
Wow.
So like, it was like, what? Like, what's happening? And then Funko finally responded saying, at Funko, we hold a deep respect and appreciation for indie games, indie gamers, and indie developers. We're fans of fans, and we love the creativity and passion that define the indie gaming community. Recently, one of our brand protection partners identified a page on itch.io imitating the Funko Fusion development website. Takedown request was issued to address this specific page. Funko did not request a takedown of the itch.io platform, and we're happy the site was back up by this morning. We have reached out to itch.io to engage with them on this issue, and we deeply appreciate the understanding of the gaming community as the details are determined. Thank you for sharing our passion for creativity. And as community notes point out, the takedown request in question was a fraud and phishing report to the registrar instead of the more usual DMCA request. So it was basically like a whole thing that, it was just funny that it happened, and it was someone just came in. The owner of the website or the runner or whatever had said that it was someone maliciously tried to post something and get them in trouble with Funko, I think, or something. But it was just really funny the seeing this, and it's like, this is not a joke. Funko just called my mom, and Funko tattletaled. And like, this guy says that I did this. So yeah, that was random thing that happened.
It's thought
like,
it was pretty cool. There's a lot of
I hadn't heard of him before. I hadn't heard of him before this.
You said you hadn't or have?
I hadn't.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird, obscure site. From what I remember, it's like a website you go to, and it's just all these kind of weird, obscure, like just indie games and people's little projects.
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah, we'll move on. I got some random stories, but we'll move on to the news that I've been wanting to talk about. Jessica, I don't know if you've kept up with this as it's been coming out on Twitter, but the Avatar third series got leaked out.
Do we know if the leaks are official?
I will say that some of the things have been getting taken down off of Twitter for copyright.
So they're
So
official.
that is generally a big indicator, yes. And there is a lot. So I will try to show them, risk my channel, my little baby channel. I'll risk them to maybe show them
Damn.
off. We'll see what happens.
Got
Because they,
balls,
Because here's the-
because they can go after you.
Here's the thing. Like, I've seen so many times. It's like, oh, the new Avatar series got leaked. Oh, the Earth Avatar been revealed, and it's like, it's always been like some clickbait thing. So is this
so
actually
there's
legit?
a lot. We'll go through it. There's a lot here. So we have here the rumor. This is the exclusive or whatever. It's just like this thing, but more or less this has started spreading around on Twitter. They talk about like the show that's going to come out, whatever. The studio is also simultaneously working on other projects. They have 2 other feature films at the same stage of development, Avatar, Kyoshi, blah, blah. Okay, so they're also developing a sequel series to Avatar, The Last Airbender, and The Legend of Korra, which will feature the next Avatar in the cycle, the Earthbending Avatar. This series is expected to debut exclusively on Paramount+. Not much is known about this next Avatar series. However, we at Night Edge Media can exclusively tell you that 2 episodes are finished as of July 2024 in the storyboard animatic stage with voiceovers. We teased this series over the summer on Twitter and can verify that the next Earth Avatar will be female again. Following Avatar Korra, she will be seen as a homeless young girl alongside her animal guide who looks like a large feline-type creature. The artist is Buzz for reference only, is not associated with Avatar Studios. She is also an amputee missing her left leg. This series also takes place sometime in the future, as the storyboards look like people ride on hoverbirds, though it could simply be air surfing, as the airbenders should be well established by this time. So before I get into it, Jesker, we've talked about the possible next show and where they would go and all this. We kind of theorized cyberpunk, right? Was kind of what they would do, modern times or cyberpunk.
Right.
That'd be dope.
I think they ought to do modern times first, and then I think they ought to save the cyberpunk futuristic style for the next Fire Avatar, because we all know it's going to come eventually.
Where do you think that? What would be the most like they're not gonna do that like that?
What do you mean?
Because I'm about to reveal what this show is, and I can tell you that it's not cyberpunk and it's not modern day.
Oh crap!
Is it medieval times?
Well, technically, the first show is medieval.
Yeah, I guess that is kind of the same
more or less.
era.
Is there going to be something where like something happened that like set back civilization, and it's like
now our source has given some information context on the stage avatars by the time we meet this new avatar. As we couldn't verify these additional plot details, we labeled them as rumors for now until officially announced. Jumping right in, the 4 nations do not exist anymore.
What
the series will establish that some unknown cataclysmic event will occur that Avatar Korra will be forced to stop. She will in turn be forced to reshape the entire world from the original 4 nations to 7 new locations or havens, which I am told could be the subtitle of the series. This would effectively make Avatar Korra the most powerful avatar known in the lore due to her ability to break and remake the world on her own. Speculating this event would ultimately lead to the death with the rebirth of the Avatar. Once the new Avatar is born,
okay,
we will learn she will actually be from a set of identical twin sisters that have long been a fun fan theory. The recent novel The Reckoning is that Roku had a twin who died before he was announced as Avatar. Nevertheless, these twins will be the focal point of the series. The White Lotus is expected to have taken one of the twins and raised her in wealth, as she is seen as the more powerful of the 2. It's unknown if they are separated at birth or as toddlers. But the second twin somehow ends up cast aside and forgotten. She grows up on the streets of one of the new havens with her animal guide. Eventually, the 2 twins are reunited and begin training together, as the non-Avatar twin is still very powerful and has actual training from the White Lotus. Again, this is speculation, but the series could eventually introduce both having a part of Rava in them. Thus, technically, both are the Avatar, but that is unknown. They could also play with the dark and light Avatar stories again, but that seems like a retread of Legend of Korra Season 2 and extremely underwhelming, though I suspect they'll keep it simple with one of the Avatar and one not the Avatar. So here's the thing. Well,
before you
Okay.
get to that, I want to say this. The idea that like they both have Rava inside of them, that's stupid. However,
Mm-hmm.
if they want to redeem the Rava and
Unalak. Vatu.
Vatu, if they want to redeem that whole thing and like take Avatar back to its more Eastern origins, they could have a situation to where maybe one twin does inherit Rava, the other maybe inherits Vatu, but the one that inherits Vatu, instead of just being, ooh, I'm evil like Unalak,
Yeah.
like, instead they actually have to master the darkness that is Vatu so that Vatu doesn't master them. And so it ends up becoming more of a yin yang type of thing instead of light versus dark, good versus evil. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So and that would go back to the whole balance theme of the series, to where, it's more like, okay, in order for, the world to really be in balance, like you have to have Rava and Vatu to stop fighting one another. And maybe now that you find some way for them to coexist.
Yeah. So as was pointed out, if you picked up on it, right? The four nations are gone after a cataclysmic event, right? And you'll see when we show the character designs that so instead of modern day and instead of cyberpunk, Avatar has jumped into post-apocalypse, which is what this is going to be, basically. This is going to be a post-apocalypse.
So is it like modern times? Because a post-apocalyptic medieval times isn't that interesting, because it's all just like brick destroyed on the ground.
That's the thing, right? Like, I feel like it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be post-apocalypse, but technically it is post-cataclysmic event. So it's either post-apocalypse or post like universal reset or something.
I mean, if it was like primordial times, that would be kind of interesting.
Like if it was like a Horizon Zero Dawn thing and it did like
maybe
that they all have formed tribes and everything.
I feel like I've seen this too much already.
Yeah, it feels too much like Adventure Time in a way.
Yeah.
So we do have, so the name is Pavi. Meet Pavi, the next avatar from the Avatar Last Bender universe. Is kind of re-goes over the same thing. We learned that the avatar's name is Pavi, and she seems to be very young in the scene, maybe 10. No, we're not doing that now. So they're describing a scene that we can actually see right here. Mute the thing. There we go. There's some animation that got leaked out, which is like, okay, there's some stuff here already. Like, clearly this is something, right? Like, clearly this is, there's the cat guide that was mentioned. And unless this is a really, really well done fan comic or fan thing, this is,
How do we
so
feel
here
about
is
how do we feel about another girl avatar?
Well, I am happy she's younger. I will say that just because I was worried about there's no way that I was like, there's no way that they have a girl avatar again go after a boy, but you also can't have a boy go after a boy, because then I feel like that would be. But it's like, I want to see, because there's always the romance, right? And they always try to force it. But I'm glad she's a kid, because it's like, okay, no romance, we're good, we're done with that. So this the girl.
You don't want any more love triangles and end up
love triangles
with a relationship that had no foreshadowing or hints whatsoever of happening, but they threw it in there at the very end regardless, because fuck it. Yeah.
Because lesbians. So the girl on the right here with the prosthetic leg and the black skin or dark skin is your new avatar. Here. This is apparently her friend / airbending teacher.
Hi, Tenzin.
But also this art style is kind of boring. I want the art style, but just I guess character art.
Stray Beans is a savage.
I'm happy she's younger. Was the Wizard of Oz.
I was going to say something about that too, but I'll let it go.
Okay, well, if we want to get into the minutia of it all, I'm not Ruby King for one, but no, Avatar was at its best when it was a kids show with kids, right? Korra tried to be a teen show, but also for kids, and it just it was a big problem.
Well,
but,
I mean, it wasn't Aang. He was more of like a young teen or like getting there.
yeah,
Wasn't
he's 12 in
Wait,
the
Aang
show.
is 12?
Well, he's technically
Yeah, that
100.
makes
He's
sense.
112, but yeah, he's 12. Because he says, like in the first episode or the second episode, like you've been in that iceberg for 100 years, and he's like, "What? Do I look like an 112-year-old man to you?" And he basically says, like, they say 112, but yeah, he's meant to be the official age.
I swear to God, these characters look older than what they are.
Yeah, the official ages are out there, but it's like he's 12. I think Katara's 13. Zuko is 16. Sokka is 15. Azula is like 13 or 14, something like that. Like they're out there.
Yeah, they're about teenage years.
Yeah.
Well,
but
I until recently, I thought like Zuko and
Azula.
Yeah, fuck Azula. I thought they were like late teens, early 20s, but then we found out she's 14. I'm like, there's no fucking way. But apparently,
yeah. So looks like there are 7 settlements, and everything outside of them is a wasteland. So here's like another picture.
Yeah, they're gonna be fighting dinosaurs, which
wait,
is kind of
are they like? Is that like a Native American theme?
I don't think it's Native American thing, because like this is just more like ripped up clothes. This is just like outside of them. They have like a.
What was the second season kind of set in? So are they all kind of separate from each other?
Okay, so the so there's the one show, Avatar: Last Airbender, right? And it's very Eastern focused. And then Legend of Korra takes place like 60 or 50 years after
Something
Avatar.
like that.
So is
And
Huh?
what? You think you're
Snowman.
cut off? You're cut off, Snowman. Can't hear you.
Hello.
What about now?
You good? Yeah, you're good now.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So my bad. What about Aang and all like the other ones? Are they in the second season?
No.
Okay, so how it works with the avatars? There can't be 2 avatars at the same time.
Mhm.
Once the one dies, they're reincarnated as the next avatar.
Oh, okay.
So basically, like one cannot live until the other is dead.
I always kind of wanted to get into the show because I really liked the art style actually, and I
Mhm.
respect it a lot
Oh,
for what it's trying to do.
I will say also, it's like it's hand drawn.
Yes, exactly.
Hand drawn, great lore, great world building, all that. Like the
Mhm.
magic system, all that. You'll love it. You'll love it.
Now,
Yeah, it's like a
I will
westernized anime kind of.
Yeah, I will
Yeah,
say
it's-
now some of the other cast besides Aang is in the second series.
Yeah, the
Like-
second series. Yeah.
Like old lady Katara's there,
Katara,
old man Zuko is in there.
Mhm. But anyway,
Toph is in there. Yeah.
There is also then more like leaks that it's like this is a screen grab from a laptop, but you can see the twin sister that will also have a twin cat, it would seem. So basically, yeah,
Yin
they're
and yang. Yo, look at that. A light cat and a dark cat.
Yeah.
Rava and Vatu. Yin
It's
and
confirmed.
yang. Here
Look,
we
the little-
go. Your
little
boy
triangle,
called
right?
it.
right there on the triangle too. Like at least it's not the stupid fucking kite. What if one dies and is revived? That just they're dead. There's no like once you die, then like you have like 9 months to like gestate, I believe, like
Well,
and then
well, technically, if we're being technical about it, it's not that like when Aang died, Aang himself reincarnated as Korra. That's not technically what happens. It's the Avatar spirit that reincarnates.
Yeah, but they speak as though they are the same person.
They are in a way, but they also
Yeah.
retain some individuality.
Yeah, they are a
Otherwise-
different person. They're
Yeah,
not like they don't have the memories. They can access the memories if they wish, but it's not like they're like
Right.
I am reborn again kind of thing.
Otherwise, the current Avatar couldn't speak to the past avatars.
Yeah, Grumpy says, insanely enough, Korra is almost after Aang in the short time they moved. Yeah, like I said, it's 50 years, and because of the technology of the Fire Nation, they moved ahead to the 1920 style. And then so for this new one, the cataclysmic happens, and then they're basically like it's post-apocalypse, and the tech might be there, it might not be. I don't know. I would have loved a cyberpunk
Yeah,
like
that would have been wild.
avatar. It would have been so cool.
It would
I-
have
Would
been
have been
way different.
So on some level, I'm kind of disappointed they're not going that direction. At the same time, I'm not against what they're doing, and like the idea of like possibly there being a yin and yang type of avatar thing with Rob and Vatu. That's my speculation. It's just my
Yeah.
speculation. I think that would be.
I don't
cool.
want to see. I don't want to see any of those fucking kites ever again.
I don't. Well,
Well, I have to specify. I said
it's-
kite.
Yeah,
I
I
said
was about to
kites
say,
with a
like,
T.
there, dude. It's part of the lore. You can't change it. All right. They can redeem it instead of making it like, oh, Vatu's the devil. I mean, that's essentially what it was. You know,
Yeah.
it would be more like we're gonna, we're gonna make it to where it's more like, Vatu and Rav are yin and yang. There needs to be a balance, which is much more in line with the Eastern inspiration of Avatar, because again, I have to explain this to people. Yin and yang do not represent good and evil. They represent complementary opposites that when brought together creates all multiplicity in the universe. The most simple way to think about it is you have male, you have female. When you bring them together, you get a new creation. That's what it is. So if they want to go that route, they can redeem that whole plot line that we got in Korra. That would actually be pretty cool. I would dig that. Now I will say this about the new Avatar being a girl again. Her being a child, I think is interesting because it shakes up the dynamic. What I was worried about is that here we go. It's Korra 2.0. It's Korra Redux. And that's boring. That's boring to just do that again. But her being a little kid, okay, we can kind of roll with that. I do hope then, if that's the case though, like to make all things even, when they eventually do get around to a fire avatar, and they will do a fire avatar at some point. We've not seen that yet. Yes, we have Roku, but he's not the main character.
I will say, I will put in if they do a fire avatar, because this third show might just suck and then they never touch it again.
If they do, I want that avatar to be a boy.
Yeah. They should have gone back to the boy girl thing. I know that people said that it's not a real thing because if you look at the timeline of the past, it's just more for a better show, right? You know, like if you look at Roku had Aang, yeah, that's boy and boy back together. But, you know, just for the show, you had Aang as a boy, Korra as a girl, you know, third is a boy, fourth is a girl, right? Could have done something like that. But I think they want to have Korra and this girl, because Korra erased the past avatars from this new person, right?
Right.
She's the only one this person can talk to. So
that's some shit though.
It'll be like what do I do, Korra? And it'll be like, have you tried stealing your boyfriend's girlfriend?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Let me tell you how I ended up with a love triangle. And even though I showed no signs of being attracted to women whatsoever for 3 seasons, all of a sudden at the tail end of my last adventure, I ended up getting the love bug for the girl that I was fighting with over the affection of her boyfriend.
And he got nothing. And
he died miserable and lonely, and he is buried in an unmarked grave. Fuck Mako.
That's the thing. That's the other question. Who do you expect to see from Korra in this show? Because the way that it's looking, it's not, if she's killed off in this cataclysmic event, and then this character's only 10, we might be looking at only like a 40-year gap or something, or like 40-year gap between, like, who knows? You want to see like Kuvira, redeemed Kuvira, become like a wise sage or something, or like Toph was or something. You know, you want to see.
I wouldn't be against Kuvira coming back. I used to really hate Kuvira as like the final villain, because I'm like, is she really that impressive compared to like the Dark Avatar?
No, like fucking
Zahir.
Zahir is like, the guy.
Yeah, I'm like, is she? But then I kind of realized what they were doing. It was meant to be a bit more poetic, because essentially Kuvira was becoming like the next, you know, she like her Earth Empire was becoming the next Fire Nation pretty much.
Yeah.
And so Korra stopping her is kind of correcting the mistakes of Roku, correcting the mistakes of one of her past lives, because she prevented another 100-year war type of thing from happening.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I thought about it in that context, I'm like, you know what? That's kind of cool. And to have that be the ending of that series, it kind of works because it's poetic.
Yeah. It's also a retread, not really in a bad way, but more like a poetry rhyming of Kyoshi and Chin the Conqueror was also trying to take over all the Earth Kingdom.
That's true.
And she killed him.
So I've come to appreciate that season and what Kavira represents more.
Yeah. Grumpy says, honestly, I just don't count Korra as canon. Okay, come on. Like
you can't do listen, there's Korra's not all bad. Okay. Korra is not all bad.
Korra's got some stuff. That first season and that third season is really good.
Yeah.
Its writing is not good sometimes.
Korra is not all bad though. And it's not so bad that I would not consider it canon. Like let me just say that. Now, that being said, no, I'd be cool with Kavira coming back.
Kavira, the Milo is going to be in it 100%. Milo is in the show.
All those kids are going to be in it.
All those kids will be in it.
Yeah.
Unless
Jinora may play a big role in it. Like I could see her like being just.
Unless Korra lived for like till she was old, right, and then died, then it's like okay, we might just see Milo and Jinora or something, but we're not going to see like anyone else. But like,
actually, Jinora is probably the number one character I can think of that would make a return because she'd probably be leading the Air Nation at this time, wouldn't she?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
or Milo, and Milo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her and Kai's kid too, probably.
Oh yeah, she did hook up with Kai.
Yeah.
That's true. That's so he might make a return as well. Trying to think who else. Like, I guess Asami might.
Asami might.
I'm assuming...
I wouldn't hate Asami and Mako's kid. The idea is like they did like you can impregnate Asami for me and we'll raise the kid.
Oh, stop. No. Now,
like a cuck child.
No, dude. No, it's still a kid's show.
It's not Baki. Well, no, that happens. Like people do that. Like lesbian couples get like.
It's a kid's show. They're not going to go that deep, bro. Now
I'm just saying
they might have a situation to where after Korra died, maybe Asami and Mako hooked up or something. Like maybe
that would be just a spit in the face for both the Mako fans and the Korrasami fans.
Fuck it, dude.
They deserve it. Fuck them.
That whole end scene in Korra is a spit in the face because it made no fucking sense.
Yeah,
it was never, ever, ever hinted in the show.
Yeah, Grumpy says yes, I can. Korra sucks, and it's Korra's the last Jedi of Avatar. I don't know if I go that far.
Give me one indication before season 4 that they were ever into each other.
I mean, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you. Don't get me wrong. I was saying what Grumpy said. No, it's yeah. So I hope that it's good. I'll rewatch Korra probably before it comes out. I don't know. I love Avatar. But I only love Avatar The Last Airbender as it stands, the 3 seasons, and that's it. Right? Like, everything else, you got to kind of just nod along to. The comics, yeah, okay. Korra, yeah, okay. The live action show, yeah, okay. You know, like, there hasn't, you know, there's nothing that's like, nothing that stands next to it.
The Shyamalan movie was fucking terrible.
Yeah, Shyamalan movie's terrible. You don't even.
That was one of the worst movies.
That didn't happen. That didn't happen. That does not exist. That did not happen.
What about Korra hooked up with Mako and had a kid? You know, well, that would be even worse if Korra was the one to cheat on Asami. I'm just saying, like, it's more like a surrogate situation if they were going to do that, just to give us something. But you also got Opal and Bolin's kid. Could have 2 kids from them, one Earthbender and one Airbender, right? Like that'd be pretty cool. We won't see any more Bayfongs. Well, no, yeah, you will, because the other daughter had kids. So there will be a Bayfong. There will be a Bayfong out there.
The Bayfongs continue strong, man.
Yeah, the bloodline is pure.
Right.
We have questions here. I put in the top of the chat is a Q&A. You can click on that and type in questions. I did that earlier in the day, and so we have some questions waiting for us in here. Let me look and see what we have. So, I had Swan put this in, but to remind me, so the Game Awards is tomorrow. Does anyone have any predictions on what we might see announced?
Well, I'm thinking about doing a stream tomorrow. So if you guys want to jump in on my gaming channel, I'll probably be streaming them tomorrow.
But like, what are we thinking for announcements?
It's a good one. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe some little nightmare stuff.
So I'm gonna make a prediction, and this is gonna sound crazy coming from me.
Yeah, like we want some. I want some crazy ones. You know?
Okay. This may be a shocker to everybody, but
we're not gonna see it. I already know we can say we're not gonna see it.
I am predicting, because I'm a hopeless romantic. I am predicting
you're a dreamer.
that we are going to finally, after over 2 fucking years since the last one, get a trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4.
No.
Shut up, Snowman, you piece of shit.
Just no.
Stray Bean says Witcher 4. So I guess if we're thinking like Hail Marys, like never gonna happen. Jesker's saying Kingdom Hearts 4. Witcher 4, I could see it, but I feel like if anything, we're just gonna get the announcement that it exists. We're not gonna see anything out of it. I hate like, as Jesker can attest to, announcements of just things that exist is lame. Don't show me until it's like ready to show.
Right.
Yeah, give bare minimum, give me a teaser.
I mean, anything. You could do fucking Bloodborne 2, Marvel vs. Capcom 4.
Marvel vs. Capcom 5. No. Yeah, 5. Because Infinite is 4.
Well, wouldn't it be? Yeah, I thought that would just be.
Yeah, but if they want to take the number and be like, we're back, you know, they can do that. So that's happened before. In
all seriousness, like I don't think we're gonna get a Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, because I'm firmly convinced somebody upstairs hates me. Being more realistic, I would say probably. Okay, let me just go ahead and get the obvious one out of the way. There's going to be a new Kojima game, because Keighley and Kojima, they're buddies.
We'll see.
I was just going to say I'd love a new Metal Gear game.
Well, I mean, okay, so there is a new Metal Gear game, but it's not new. Like, we're getting Snake Eater remake.
Right.
But Death Stranding 2 still has to come out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see probably more. We might see actual gameplay of that, because I don't think we've seen gameplay of that yet. I think it's all been cinematics. I don't think we'll see his horror game yet. I think that's still going to take time.
Oh, that would be dope, because he's got a crazy imagination.
Because he announced it, I think, last year at the Game Awards.
Yes, I do recall that now.
That might have been last year or the year before. But
and okay, so sorry, go ahead.
I say my crazy prediction. I want Lies of P DLC, but I feel like we're not going to see that until the game showcase that's over in Europe, because I think that's when they first showed Lies of P. But who knows? They might be like, "Hey, Lies of P's big now. We'll show it off." So I want to see Lies of P DLC trailer for that. Even if it comes out next year, I want to see a trailer for it.
Yeah, that'd be.
I don't think we're going to see anything from Insomniac, like Spider-Man or Wolverine or anything like that.
Actually, you know, Spider-Man, no, I think it's too early. Wolverine, possibly.
Yeah, they've been talking about that for a while now.
I think in the leaked timeline, Venom was supposed to be next, so we might just get the stealth announcement of that, where it's like, hey, you already knew if you read the leaks, but here's Venom's the next game, right?
What about the Indiana Jones game?
Well, that's like out.
Wait, is that came out?
That's out. Yeah, there's reviews of it out. People are saying it's good.
What? I heard nothing about it.
What is it out on?
It's out on Xbox and Steam. Doesn't come out on PlayStation for like till next year.
Oh.
If it's not out, as I think it's review out, but like it's coming. Like it's like I think by the end of the year or something like that.
Oh, I've not heard shit about it. Like the marketing's been dead silent. Well, anyways,
Maybe a
Screw
new
first
Resident
person
Evil
Indiana
game.
Jones. Boo.
Any
you know what?
reviews on Resident Evil?
I'm gonna throw one out there. Maybe a new Sonic game. Fuck it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel like we get those every so often.
Yeah.
But,
That wouldn't be too crazy.
yeah. Yeah, so that was just I don't know. I'd like to be surprised. There's a lot of Game Awards have come and gone recently where I'm just like, nothing here I care about, right?
You know what? Because I know this company so well, even though they have Kingdom Hearts 4 in development, watch them. They won't even announce a new Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer. Instead, they're going to announce something that hasn't been announced yet, and that's going to be Final Fantasy 17.
That'd be cool too.
Okay, so then there's Grumpy just says I don't know what the future holds for you all, but hope remains steadfast that it involves art. Thank you, Grumpy.
Fuck yeah, likewise, bro.
Yeah, we're all gonna keep drawing, and we're all gonna keep making. I'm gonna work on the pirate comic. I plan on getting that out next year, September. I'm gonna announce it now. September is what I'm shooting for. If it happens earlier, I have another month in mind that happens to be earlier if everything goes smooth. But as it stands right now, September at the latest. I will not be a late book person. I will.
But you're not selling it. You don't got like thousands of millions of backers at like.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be.
Guys,
it's not.
It's me, Ethan Van Wizard, and I'm sorry I haven't got my book
whoa.
out.
I don't know I don't know how that person possibly relates to what I said. No. So it won't be put up for a campaign. It'll just go live to purchase, and it will be of a low price. No more than $5. I don't feel right charging anymore. But the way I'm going to use it is using Gumroad. You'll be able to pay more if you would like, but like I said, as cheap as possible because this book ain't gonna look good. Well, like Grumpy says, start building your campaign now. There will be no campaign, Grumpy. That's the magic of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till I'm actually satisfied with my art until I really start making it and trying to sell it.
If you buy Wizard's book, I'll send you a free pie.
Grumpy asks, what's y'all's favorite Superman shield? Out of all of them, up to 3 answers can be provided, and there are, despite the horror of Snyder, no wrong answers. I'll start. Action Comics, Christopher Reeves. So
now what's Gumroad?
Gumroad is
costume was dope. Grumpy.
Gumroad is a website where you can put up stuff to purchase that are like PDFs and like images and stuff. So like I've bought like a few comics from there.
I'm gonna want to check this
can,
out.
Yeah, so there's a lot of like it's kind of like Webtoons is more like you read it, right? But like Gumroad is you can download it. So it's you put up your comics, and they're not like the big Marvel people, it's like indie people, and you put it up there and you set the price and you download it, and
that actually sounds pretty fun, actually.
Yeah. So, and like I said, I think you can do images, you can do like audio files, you can do videos, you can do like, so if you wanted to like, I'm going to put this, this YouTube video, or whatever, but I'm going to take this YouTube video, not put it on YouTube, I'm going to put it on Gumroad and charge people for it. You could do that.
Can you charge people for dick pics on there?
Well, that's that. All right. You're just wilding now. Anyway, Superman logos, favorite Superman logos. I mean, Christopher Reeve one is the normal one, right? Like,
I like this big silver one. I mean, I guess that's also the fucking, that's on the cover of the Superman.
The Zack Snyder one honestly isn't bad.
It's not bad.
It doesn't really stand out too much, but yeah, it's not, I don't hate it. Like
Stray Bean says, I like the Justice Lord Superman logo from Animated Universe Justice League. Kingdom Come.
Red Sun one's pretty cool.
Red Sun one's cool. It's gimmicked, but it's cool. Yeah, I mean, really, I gotta go with the classic one. And if you can kind of adapt it in some way, then cool. But, yeah. And I guess for like branching out, yeah.
The Superman and Lois one is not bad either.
Yeah, though if you got it with the black inside of it, with like the red and black, that's not terrible. I can kind of fuck with it. Yeah, the Fleischer one. They started to bring that one back.
That was the one
recently,
in
like-
Superman and Lois, wasn't it?
Yeah, Superman and Lois has it. There's like a couple of like random Superman comics that have kind of brought that back.
Yeah, that one is.
Grumpy
pretty
says,
cool.
I do hate the Snyder one. You can't really tell it's an S.
Well, it's not an S. It meant like hope or something.
It
didn't
means hope on the. I
Yeah.
will say too that as confession, for the longest time, I never really saw that Superman's logo was an S. I don't know why. I was looking at it wrong.
Wait, what?
So
'Cause
like
you're a caveman.
so like since as I was a kid, right? But like the way I looked at the logo, maybe I could pull it up.
So, Wizard, I'm going to break some news to you. The logo on Batman's suit is a bat.
Okay,
It's
so
a
The,
bee.
you
the
know
logo
how
on Green Lantern's suit is a Green Lantern.
so you know how like the D on like the Disney logo
Looks like a backwards G. Yeah.
you like just it's that weird shape more or less, and you just kind of look at that and you're like, yeah, whatever, and then you kind of just notice like, oh, it is a D, right?
Yeah.
so-
when I was a kid, I thought it looked like a backwards G.
Yeah, so like with me, the Superman logo was I didn't see the S here. I saw like the white space, the yellow, right? So you see like this shape here, the triangle, you know, like my mind just always auto clicks to this part of the logo right here, right? Like it's hard to describe it, but basically like my mind goes to the first yellow part, right?
That's kind of interesting.
You're right here.
Okay, like yeah, your vision must work different than a lot of
It's-
people's because
That one is the classic. I love that one.
You know,
isn't red supposed to stand out more than yellow to people?
Yes.
I don't know about that, but I think just as a kid,
Well,
this is just what my mind
yellow's
tried to
brighter.
like. As a kid, I think my mind tried to perceive this as a shape, and it didn't see it as an S. It was just
Mhm.
like, yes, the thing, the Superman thing, right? And just for the longest time, I was like, I never noticed there was an actual really S here. Maybe I did, but I just kind of remember just kind of realizing like, yeah, that's just. But anyway, yeah, that's just like a random kind of thought where I'm just like, looking at like, that's just like it just randomly hit. Kind of like the same thing with the Disney logo, right? With the D in the Disney logo, how you just kind of see the shape of it. You don't see the D. You see the backwards G part.
Yeah.
Your brain goes to this part, and then you forget that you're supposed to be looking at this part. You're just seeing this part. It's the same thing with the Superman logo, I think. But
I mean, I remember as a kid, I remember asking, why does the Disney logo have a G at the beginning when I was a kid? That's a backwards G.
Yeah, so Swan points out that your brain does see yellow first because this is why school buses are yellow. Danger signs are stop signs are red, but I don't know. So
Maybe that's why everybody skips them.
says-
They don't even stop because they're not yellow.
Grumpy says you're looking at the negative space and ain't nothing wrong with that. And then Swan correctly
Exactly.
points out, leave it to Wizard to only see the negative.
Yeah, you've been making me depressed
Well-
this whole
well
stream,
played,
you
Swan.
bastard.
You don't even know, Jesker, how bad I can get. Anyway, so then Grumpy asks, "What's the favorite Captain America shield?" The pointed one, the classic with the stars on the top and the stripes going down at the point. That's my favorite Captain America shield.
I mean, what is Wizard gonna say next? On like, hey guys, did you know that there's been more people that have died in history?
Okay, well, I'm not
born in
Debbie
history?
Downer.
And
I'm
it's
not
like,
Debbie Downer.
okay,
Wah, wah, wah.
you must be great at parties, Wizard.
I don't go to parties.
You must
Captain
be-
America, Captain
Jesus.
America shields, Jesker. Favorite Captain America shields.
I can't really even think of his many variants. Like his actual shield or just like his logo?
His shield, like his actual like vibranium shield, Let me
Jesus.
It's classic, like 3 rings with the star in the center.
I mean,
It's like
like, yeah,
the
that
one
is
ring.
here's a There's actually gone through.
I will say this: I love U.S. Agent's costume in the comics, the black one.
U.S. Agent Shield's pretty good.
To be honest with you, I've not really thought about like what would be my
trying to open up.
And Protocide Shield is really cool too.
To me, there's the circle one, there's the pointed one, and then there's the pointed one they brought back for the one after Hydra Cap.
I guess the
that
pointed one's. Oh no, there's like another pointed one.
Yeah, there's the pointed one they brought back recently. They brought.
Yeah, it's like a crest kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll pull this up. Yeah, so you have your first shield. This is the one I like, the pointed one. The original one.
The US
which I like. I like
hand.
more the Ultimates version of it, but then you have your Golden Age with the blue. Then your Silver Age, which is your classic.
Best.
This is you can't go wrong with it, right? But if we're looking at different stuff, the
Vibranium Shield is sick.
Yeah, the U.S. Agent one.
The Energy Shield one is really cool too, because that's probably from one of my favorite comic books ever made.
Yeah. The Smithsonian replica, but basically, yeah, like the one that's the proper.
That one is
anyway,
cool
so
too.
Then they like kind of go out here where it's like, all right, what are we doing here? Like Scott Summers had a shield once and an alternate thing. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Wait a minute, go up a sec.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The Captain? That's just a black hole.
Avengers Fairy Tales #1 in 2008.
That's just a black hole.
Black hole shield.
Yeah, this was the other pointed one they brought back recently in 2016, and it was
go back up to the canon ones, as I call them.
The original ones up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the originals.
Go down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I like the General America.
Yeah, that's just like a. Yeah, that design's not bad.
You know why I like the General America? I kind of like if you had 3 stars in there instead of 1, it'd be like the Tennessee flag.
I see.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I know. Where you at, Cynic? You Alabama bitch.
Damn.
The Photon Energy Shield. Stray Bean says actually incorrect. There's more people alive on Earth right now than have died during history.
Wait. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that's probably true because the population has boomed so much over the last century. That's probably true.
That doesn't restore your faith in. If that doesn't restore your faith in humanity.
Oh no, my faith in humanity dried up a long time ago. You ain't bringing.
I'm just saying, it's like not really faith in humanity, but just more like it's a good way to look at things. Anyway, so Grumpy then says a question/request, if I may we see what a pirate character would put in this game would look like? Grumpy, you have to specify really what you mean because this is from early in the stream, so I think we were talking about rivals. I don't know how I could show that, or if we're Assassin's Creed Shadow. I don't know what you mean by this. This must have been about Assassin's Creed because then he says China would remake stuff, as they just want money and don't care for Western silliness. There's that, I guess, like if they want to just, I mean, that's the thing. I've always said this, try like leech money off of me as much as you want. Just make good stuff and I will buy it. If you are greedy, make good things. Don't be greedy and lazy. That's lame. No one wants that. Be greedy. Or if you're going to be greedy and lazy, but by making the right decisions that make good stuff, don't try to be like,
or you can be like me, be greedy so that you can be lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I made my millions, I'm going to go take a nap.
Yeah. Why does Sony keep making movies on characters people don't know or care about? Who are these Spider-Man jobbers? Well, I mean, apparently they're not making them anymore, so there is that. Okay, by drawing it, Grumpy says, well, I'm not good enough to really capture the Marvel Rivals art style. But stay tuned, Grumpy, for my review of, fuck it, I'll show it.
Yeah, show it, you bitch ass cracker.
I'm in the
Damn.
process of coloring it. So you know, it's not all the way done, but so my review for Marvel Rivals, the thumbnail is going to look like this.
Yeah, he saved the best for last, the color.
Yeah, so well, like, the Widow and Luna Snow aren't done yet, but these are still just flats, and then I'm not, you know, like I did with Hella and Squirrel Girl here, gonna go a little harder on them.
Squirrel Girl looks cool too.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, so here's this will be the keeping with the theme for the thumbnails of my other game reviews. They it's, you know, always me with the girls or whatever, with the women. So I was like, this will be funny. So yeah, this has been really fun to do. You know, this was, you know, speaking the truth, mostly a trace, right? But there are some changes that I've made and stuff like that. So, you know, yeah, the Hella is especially cool. I'm really proud of the Hella. That was the first one I colored, and I was showing Snowman and them in the group, and I was like, and I even changed the colors since I first showed it when I thought it was good. I added blacks and the purples and all that.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Where it's like, yeah, so, you know, I mean, it's maybe the thumbnail too, so no one will even be able to see it, but your brain will still be able to kind of register it. So you won't be able to see the details, but that won't matter. But yeah.
What did you trace that from?
Like the like pictures of them in the game, basically.
Oh, okay. From Rivals.
Like if you look up like Hella Marvel Rivals, there's like one of the poses she's kind of doing that a little bit, and so I kind of just took from that. But I changed
it together.
I changed the faces around. I you know, traced over to get the poses, and then for the coloring, I kind of like looked at what the colors were doing in the picture, and then went over it. You know, but yeah, so. You know, it was either that or use the AI like I did with the other game reviews, but I don't want to use AI. So,
good man.
You
I
know.
saw your
Grumpy
message, by the way, Grumpy. I just haven't got to you yet.
Grumpy says you made it yours, Wizard, but I'd buy that, whereas I would never buy a Rippaverse trace. You know.
Yeah, they're all
anyway,
trash.
Yeah, so,
Rippaverse sucks.
What is the point in spending millions or billions to make? Oh, this is Music Master. Oh, so Music Master asked, why does Sony keep making no one cares about? So Music Master asks again, what's the point in spending millions or billions to make movies on B-list? Or, you know, they wanted to have their own franchise, and they just, you know, they just didn't do it. Stray Bean says, I believe that's called a swipe in the industry. I consider it a trace. It's I try to, you know, look down upon myself when I do it, but I'm not
selling the shit, dude. So whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Like Wally Wood said, the guy who made Power Girl's tits big, you know, don't draw what you can trace, or no, don't draw what you can copy, don't copy what you can trace, don't trace what you can just cut out and just paste from something else. Like,
yeah, and all the great steal.
Yeah, good. And then there's the other line. He didn't say it, but good artists borrow, and great artists steal.
That's it. That's what it is.
That's the line. So anyway, yes.
Dumb himbo, as they say.
Yeah, you're a himbo.
Man. I mean, like I'm working on a story right now, and like I'm stealing all sorts of characters and stuff. Like I got a galactic emperor called Fridger. I've got like a scientist.
You got Fajita.
Yeah, fajita. Yeah, I got like this whole race named after Mexican food.
Beans, fajita, guacamole, dude.
Taco.
Super Saiyan guacamole.
No, they're not Saiyans. They're, you know.
Oh yeah, super tamales.
super spices.
Yeah.
Yeah, dog. Like I am perfectly confident that there is no Japanese company that's going to be suing my ass for this later.
Yeah. So Grumpy
Just
asked, what do y'all think the MCU? What do y'all think the MCU will be like if it's even around in 5 years?
Yeah, Nintendo's like, yo, Toei and Shueisha's too bitch made to sue you, but we'll do it.
Yeah, we got their backs.
No, MCU we've talked about it before. If it's what they should do is reboot. What they will not do is reboot. So if what it will be like is probably still mid all to hell, and Fantastic Four 2 will be coming out. So
Yeah, I
and
think
an X- and an
Fantastic
X-
Four is going to be at very best mid.
We're still going to be dealing with the Doctor Doom plot probably because I doubt it's going to
It's-
get wrapped up in.
well, by
one
that
film.
point, we're building towards Apocalypse and the X-Men or the Magneto.
Yeah,
or something.
it's going to
No,
be
I
a
don't-
shell of its former self. I mean,
hold up. Do you
Because 5 years, we're going to start doing X-Men stuff. That's going to happen. You know, we're going to have an X-Men movie by that point, or announced by that point.
maybe? Anyways, it's going to kind of meander for a while, and then it'll flicker out at some point, and then Disney will sell it off to Paramount, and then Paramount won't do anything with it, so then they'll sell it off to Warner Brothers, and then they'll finally give us the DC versus Marvel film that we've all been waiting for. And
that would be cool.
it'll be a glorious day, and that'll revive the whole comic book film industry. And by then we'll all be in our nursing home, so we won't be able to go to the theaters to see it.
Well, I mean, you guys
that's
will.
gonna
You
be-
guys will be. I'm young, so I'll be
Nope.
okay.
You're not that young, motherfucker. It's all gonna be a cruel twist of fate. We're finally gonna get DC versus Marvel, the Avengers versus the Justice League, but we're all gonna be too old and Alzheimer's riddled to see it, and that's gonna be God's last cruel joke on us before we finally.
Now,
go to the ground.
I will live long enough to see Thor beat Superman on the big screen. It will
I
happen.
will burn you with fire, wizard.
Well, how do you think the battle with the MC or the Avengers versus the Justice League
Superman
gonna go?
is gonna own that ass.
No.
Yeah.
Superman magic affects Superman like normal, correct? Everyone's established this. Thor has magic lightning, meaning that he will strike Superman with lightning and it will hurt him. And he will keep doing that until he is dead.
But see, here's where it gets complicated. If it's just lightning, what's magic about it?
Because it's magic. That's the thing. Like, so it's because it's godly, divine lightning, right?
That's like
he can
saying,
also summon
did it.
He can summon a storm to block out the sun. So Superman would lose his powers over time if he wore him out. But Thor gains power from being on the earth because he is the son of Gaia.
Can he breathe in space?
Yes, Superman would laser
Thor can breathe in
right,
Thor can breathe in space, yes.
Oh yeah. But no, Superman's still beating Thor. He will find a way to defeat Thor. I guarantee you, he will find a way.
Superman is too much shit. He's got a crazy arsenal. He's way faster. He's way stronger.
I'm just saying that Thor, because Thor can do the one thing Superman can't, and that's pick up the hammer. Like that hammer gives him a lot.
Oh, the
You
hammer
can make it a
is-
great fight.
Listen, man. If you want to throw in like Rune King Thor, or
I'm not even talking Rune King. I'm not talking.
If you want to bring in like the strongest version of Thor, we'll just bring in Superman Prime 1 million.
Yeah, that's why we can't bring in broken Superman, right? Because then you could bring in like Dr. Manhattan Superman. You can't do that.
Fuck it. Yes, I can.
Thor, as he stands now, is powerful.
You know what? I am Jesker
All-Father
Christ.
of Best.
I am Jesker Christ. How dare you defy me, child?
Superman is only vulnerable to the reality-altering parts of magic. Thor just used magic to make energy. Well,
that's a good fucking point.
No, because Shazam can still hurt him with his lightning. It's the same principle. It's magic.
Yeah, but
it's magic lightning.
It might just be because it's physically powerful. Like lightning is powerful as fuck. Like I see Superman could definitely be getting hurt by electricity and like even like lava and fire and shit if it's strong enough.
Like
now wait a minute, grumpy old ninja. Now if we're talking about All-Father Thor versus regular Superman, okay, Thor's probably going to take that. But what I'm saying is, like, you have to compare. Like, if you're going to do different forms of the characters, you have to have comparable forms going against each other. Like, if you're going to do the strongest Thor, you got to have the strongest Superman. If you're going to do mainline Thor, you got to have mainline Superman. Like, that's the thing. Otherwise, the comparison doesn't make a lot of sense.
Or, like, you want to pull, like, 60s Thor, you got to pull, like, pre-Crisis Superman. When pre-Crisis Superman is on, like, godly. He's above Thor.
He's broken as fuck.
He's broke. Like pre-Crisis Superman dragged a galaxy of planets on a chain like it was nothing.
Dude, he literally picked up a book full of infinite pages. Now I want you to think about that. Means the weight was literally infinite.
Yeah.
Which also, though,
What the fuck?
if we're talking feats in Norse mythology,
Ooh, I love feats.
Thor picked up a cat's paw that was a giant cat that was actually Jormungandr in disguise. And the fact that he could even do that was seen as like this impossible thing. He also drank part of the ocean. But we're going to move on. Which that is canon to the comics too, by the way. But moving on. Grumpy asks again, and now that you have seen Nightwatch, is he a Spawn homage or a ripoff or neither? He seems to just be a ripoff, but I don't know his powers or anything. Look-wise, he looks more like Azrael Batman than he does Spawn, but I don't know.
Nightwatch. Well, I don't think I've ever seen or heard of him either.
Like we just showed it earlier, and that was kind of. So I don't know. I mean, he's not around anymore, so must not have been that cool. If you could pick, Grumpy Eskin, if you could pick whose hand you put the MCU into to reboot it, what would be the first movie? Would you stay in 616 or go elsewhere? So, basically, if you're going to reboot the franchise, how would you start it?
Now, wait a minute. So he's saying, like, when he says give it to somebody else, is he talking about like companies or director or like somebody besides Kevin Feige?
I read it as like studio or like Overwatch, right? Like your Kevin Feige's. Okay. I would say give it to James Gunn, but we got to see how the DCU shakes out.
I don't know about that.
Otherwise, I don't know anyone off the top of my head who would be like the good creative head because they got to juggle a lot.
You wizard, you do it.
No, but like that's the thing. You got to juggle corporate stuff. And you got to juggle. You don't just get to have full carte blanche. Kevin Feige doesn't have full carte blanche.
Listen. It's quite simple. Corporate, eat a dick. Creative, let's sit down and have a meeting.
Okay, so Grumpy does specify like runner. Not Gunn. What's wrong with James Gunn? He's good. I don't know. Pound for pound, 3 movies, 3 bangers. Let's be honest.
I agree, but let's see what he does running a whole.
Let's see what he does with.
You gotta remember
DC.
that's him being a director. That's not him running an entire universe.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and I think Superman looks very iffy. Sounds very iffy to me right now.
It's very sus at this point.
Yes, there's too much going on. I think with it.
Yeah. So anyway, what I would start with would be Spider-Man, probably.
Yeah, but more street level.
Street level Spider-Man. He's fighting just a guy. You want to give him powers, you maybe do someone like Sandman, a Green Goblin, a Vulture, but like otherwise like Kingpin, right? Or the 3 jobbers that he fights that are just like the goons. I can't remember what they're called. Someone will say it in the chat.
Shocker. I mean, you could even do Rhino.
You got Shocker. Rhino, but like the
Craven.
Craven you got to build up to. Craven is your first big bad, I feel like, because
can Hobgoblin finally get some love in a movie?
Hobgoblin's also
you need to
good.
do Green Goblin first.
They've done Green Goblin twice.
I mean, in order to bring the Hobgoblin
3 times.
he's
like
Green
Goblin 3 times
of Green Goblin.
Well,
yeah. Unless you're talking the 90s show in which they wanted to do Hobgoblin first. So then they had to retroactively changed why Green Goblin showed up later.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me.
But I'm saying is Craven you build up to because Craven needs to hunt the Spider-Man, right? And you want to have it as being like he's a threat by that point. So at least in Spider-Man 2, you bring Craven in.
I'll say this: if I did the MCU
Craven
today,
would be a good one for 2.
I would definitely bring in Fantastic Four in Phase 1.
Yeah, you would have to start with Fantastic Four,
and
to do it right.
I don't know if I would bring in the X-Men immediately into Phase 1, but that would definitely be a Phase 2 thing at the latest.
Or you want to go
you
nutty.
Probably do Fantastic Four and then X-Men and then spin it off from there.
Start 1940s Submariner, Human Torch, Captain America. You start with the Invaders. That's your first. If you want to go timeline-wise, you start there.
That would be very cool.
Start how they did with Marvel Comics, right? You start with the Invaders, an Invaders movie, and then it ends with Captain America getting frozen. And then you jump to the 60s for Fantastic Four. So could do that.
Although honestly, I do kind of, depending on the day, I do kind of agree that maybe X-Men should be its own universe.
Yeah, it depends on the writer, right? It depends on, especially for comic book wise, like it depends on the writer who's writing it. That a lot of the times it's like everyone loves the mutants, or everyone hates the mutants but loves the Avengers and the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man and this and that. And
I've said this before. The reasoning is there. It's weird regardless, but the reasoning is there, and that's because the X-Men have the X gene, and so they're like a natural evolution. But all the other heroes either get their powers from magic or technology or some weird happenstance like a radioactive spider biting them. Whereas mutants literally represent a evolutionary change in the human population. And that's why they're feared. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And I get that, but it's
and then the whole Krakoa stuff happened, and they segregated themselves, and made an ethno state.
Yeah, I heard that storyline was terrible.
I heard it was good. I heard it was different. Like it was good, but like I don't feel like they did anything besides just talk the whole time.
Yeah, it was just a lot of standing around.
And Cyclops banged Wolverine. Like,
oh, shut the fuck! That was horrible.
That happened though.
Modern entertainment and storytelling is so.
Well, okay, we don't know whether or not they banged each other, but they definitely shared Jean. They shared Jean. That is just.
It just makes her look bad.
Oh no! What a slut! No.
Yeah.
Oh God, no. Oh God.
Anyway.
Why'd you remind me of that, Wizard? Like that is one of the worst moments in my entire history as a comic book fan. When that shit happened, like I hate you now.
That one panel of Wolverine put his arms around both of them. Like,
and off screen waiting to jump in was Paul.
Paul was watching.
I will with a fire iron up your ass. I swear to God.
Hey, don't threaten me with a good time.
Baki asks, do you believe the United States needs more Orthodox Christianity?
Hells yes.
No.
Hells yes.
I don't believe in a religion circling the whole country. No.
Man, fuck Protestantism.
You can go anywhere to get Christianity here. It's enough.
All of our problems are caused by Calvinists.
Actually, a lot of them are, yeah. And the Puritans.
Fierce apathetic Black Queen asks, or just comments. They say her name in the church, and I'm feeling bad because I don't remember it. I don't think I'm trying to translate
Taylor.
Taylor, thank you.
Yeah, her name's Taylor.
Yeah, I'm new to that church scene, so I just Taylor asks, I don't view Korra cheating with Asami like their cases lesbian and bisexuals who had biological children with lovers. Like, how are you to survive? So basically, like, because I had said that if Korra hooked up with Mako, it would be like Korra cheating on Asami. I just mean that it's like, because Korra's supposed to be dead, so then it would have happened while Korra was alive. Whereas if it was like Korra's dead and then Mako hooks up with Asami, sure, you could do that because Korra is dead.
It could be,
unless it was like unless I pointed out it was for give them a surrogate so they could raise a kid, right? That happens.
They're not gonna do that, dude. I'm telling you right now,
You say that like it's this disgusting thing. I mentioned that it's like
what I'm saying is, do you know how difficult that's going to be to explain to kids? They're not going to go that deep.
I mean, like, I don't know, but there we are. And then Taylor mentioned something about Silent Hills, but that's all she said. She didn't say anything else. So that is all the questions we have, unless anyone wants to drop more or just type them in the chat at this point. Jeff Johns running Marvel would be interesting. That would just be weird. Jeff Johns is a comic guy. He's not, he's not a Marvel guy.
I don't think Jeff Johns, I don't think he would want it.
I'd give Jim Lee Marvel movies before I'd give it to Jeff Johns, because at least Jim Lee did X-Men and stuff.
Yeah, but Jim Lee is like a total bum now. He doesn't give a shit about.
I agree with that. I
Yeah,
agree with that.
I would just more say that would Jeff Johns is like just
Jeff,
DC
no, you
comic
actually
guy.
got Jeff Johns actually has his hands on more shit, and he's actually doing a lot of Ghost Machine stuff right now. So I would
Jim Lee kind of
Yeah.
feels like a washed up hack.
Well, he
Yeah,
doesn't. He's the owner of DC right now, but
not the,
No,
well,
but
yeah,
I mean from a creative standpoint, I think I just felt like at some point Jim Lee stopped giving a fuck.
exactly.
I could
Yes.
see. I could see. Well, when he sold his characters that he made to DC is when it was like.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Grumpy did point out Jeff Johns did do good TV. Thank you, Grumpy. Stargirl, banger. Stargirl, great. Jeff Johns was in charge of that. Yeah, you are 100% right, Grumpy. Put Jeff Johns in charge of DC and move James Gunn to Marvel. There, we did it.
Yep. There it is.
You know,
Yeah, James Gunn should just take control.
maybe.
Not of DC.
Maybe.
I'd rather have someone out of DC, but
I haven't seen
yeah,
Superman and Lois yet.
You know what? I'm not against.
Superman and Lois has some dope scenes. It looks.
Yeah,
like.
actually, Superman
Yeah.
and Lois is great, but
Yeah,
honestly,
I've heard only good things.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard.
Jeff Johns. Honestly, I wouldn't be against him running DC. I wouldn't be against it.
No. I just like I just don't know Jeff Johns as far as Marvel goes, right? So it's like like I said, give him DC, right? Give him DC, give James Gunn Marvel, it's all good, right? We'd all be good with that.
I still don't know if I trust James Gunn with an entire universe.
Yeah, like I said, we got to see. I got to see. Like I've liked Suicide Squad. I've liked Peacemaker. You know, I like the Guardians movies. So we'll see what happens. Gunn not by himself. So Gunn and Feige working together because Feige's more of like a liaison between like corporate people and all that. But I just don't think he's got the good mind to make good decisions and good comic book things that kind of like say what you will about James Gunn. James Gunn works in the old comic stuff. He works in the lore. He kind of makes characters fit how they're more or less supposed to be. He's taken some liberties here and there, but more or less like he'll drag in those old comic stories and all that, and he'll what you're supposed to see. Feige ignores it for the longest time. He ignores it, whether that's his decision or corporate. That's why I said like keep Feige around to be that corporate, like the guy who can go and sweet talk, you know, and be like, this is good, you know, we'll be all good here, but this is what we're going to do, and this is going to make us a lot of money, and it's going to be cheap or whatever it is. Like whatever he's got to say to sell something, let him be in charge of that. You give James Gunn the actual creative decisions. Really, that's what you need. Whether it's James Gunn or not, you know, that's what you need is just someone who has the ability to read a Marvel wiki and be like, see that? Do it. Instead of being like, well, we're going to do this, but see, actually Ghost is now a girl and Captain Marvel is an old woman and like all that shit. Like get all that out of here. You know, pick the thing and do it. Just do it. Just pick it and do it. You know. Gunn has Tom King in his writer's room. Gunn is starting Batman with Damian. What? I mean, I'll say it. Hot take. Damian's okay. I know.
Well, that's not the problem.
Damian's fine. It's the problem is why are we starting with Damian? So what I would
Why
do?
is Tom King involved? He is a fucking terrible Batman writer.
What I would do,
And
honestly,
he has fallen so far from grace.
Need Chuck Dixon in there.
and I have some bias here because this is my favorite Robin, but I would start out with Tim Drake. I
don't trust them with Tim Drake, modern Tim Drake.
What
Right.
I would do is so
I don't want
That's
by-
just
I don't want
disrespect to the OG. If you going to
I don't want by
with
Tim
your
Drake.
name,
I don't want gay Tim Drake in a movie.
no, hold up. So here's what I would do.
Because you
So-
know that's what they would do.
Maybe, but here's what I would do. So I would have a Batman movie. It would take place after Jason Todd was killed by Joker, and
Batman v Superman.
Essentially, hold up. That's not confirmed to be
Oh.
Jason. That's not confirmed to be Jason Todd. So it would take place after Jason Todd was killed by Joker. Batman would have hung up the mantle, and you would have had Dick Grayson as Nightwing, Barbara Gordon as Batgirl. They would have kind of taken up the role as Gotham's defenders, right? So they're out there fighting crime and everything. But you have Tim Drake come into the picture, and he realizes the city needs Batman, and Batman needs a Robin. And so the entire movie would be playing off the Batman and Robin dynamic. You would kind of, delve into Batman's psyche a bit. So you would get like the origin story without doing an origin story. If you get what I'm saying, it'd be more psychological.
Yeah.
And so you would have kind of Tim Drake, and Batman, like that whole dynamic playing out. They would bring out the best in each other. Batman comes back. Now he's got Tim Drake, Robin. They're out there fighting crime. And it would kind of end up at the end as kind of a Bat Family movie. Then you go on to the sequel, and it's a live action version of the Red Hood storyline.
Yeah. I feel like the problem with Red Hood, Under the Red Hood type deal, you can never do that in a movie and keep the twist secret, right?
Correct.
Well, no, but I mean,
you reveal a Jason.
Cool. It's still a good story.
Yeah, I
want
to see it adapted in live action.
You reveal Jason Todd is alive in the after credit scene of the first Batman movie.
Yeah, and
then Batman has to figure out his shit. Like the audience has to already know.
Yeah,
and Batman has to figure it out.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And I mean, and honestly, like because I've had this a pitch for a Batman movie in my mind for a while. Originally, my idea was to have it to be Riddler and Penguin, and then the fucking Batman stole that from me. And so the whole thing was going to be like, oh, and Batman's absent, like Penguin became like the head crime boss in the city. So like he's the villain from that standpoint. But then you have Riddler who's out there doing his thing. And so like he brings out more of the detective side of Batman. And like as Batman's trying to figure out what the Riddler's up to, it kind of reminds him like what it means to be Batman, like why he started this to begin with, and kind of picking up where he left off before the whole Jason Todd incident. But now that we've already had a movie with Riddler and Penguin as the big bad, I have to kind of rework that to have somebody else as the villains. I don't know, maybe Scarecrow. I don't know.
Grumpy, I will say that because I don't want established superhero movies leaving origins to previous iterations of said heroes. Start from the beginning and keep going. Use a smart failure and just use. So no, I don't want to see the goddamn Waynes get gunned down in Crime Alley for like the 8th time in goddamn live action. We've seen it happen. You know what happens. You don't need to see it happen. They are dead. The Marleys are dead to begin with.
I mean, I mean, again, like the way that I would do it, because he is kind of rebuilding himself as Batman, there would be an aspect of the origin, but it's not going to be the main focus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not going to be Batman year one, because again, you've already got Nightwing and Barbara as Batgirl out there. Tim is the new Robin. It would be more so like, imagine a scene like where he's kind of rebuilding himself. He's standing in front of his parents' graves, and there's like a quick, like 30-second flashback, and then we move on, like that type of thing.
I do want to talk about too that the trailer for the next season of Harley Quinn is out, and
I thought that show ended.
No, still going. Still, I enjoy it. I enjoy Harley Quinn. It has its problems, but that's mainly more like due to how they want to structure their show to kind of be
it's fine. I didn't mean to suggest it wasn't. I'm just saying I actually thought like they wrapped it up is what I'm saying.
But so the trailer shows Red X for a frame, which if you've seen the finale of the last season, tells me that they're basically, instead of doing Under the Red Hood, they're doing Under the Red X. And that seems pretty cool. I'm kind of into it.
He was a Teen Titans villain, if I'm not mistaken.
He was a moniker that Robin wore once to infiltrate Deathstroke's, like, get in his right hand, even though Deathstroke knew the whole time. And then he shows back up twice in Teen Titans, and they never tell us who the identity is. The fan theory is that it's Jason Todd, but it was never confirmed on who it was.
Whoa, mind blowing. I think it's dumb as fuck that Jason Todd is the Red Hood, and that Red Hood is even a character, really. But I do really like the Under the Red Hood storyline.
And by the way, in my fictional Batman movie universe, eventually you would have Tim Drake moving on to become the head of the Teen Titans, not Dick Grayson. We're going to keep him as Nightwing. Tim Drake would go on to become the head of the Teen Titans, and then you introduce Damian much later on in the timeline.
Yeah, I love Damian. I think he's awesome. He really grew on me.
So Grumpy's making his it has to happen that the parents must be shown dead. We've seen it though, and I get what you're saying that it's like,
again,
and we'll continue from this universe and recast. But why can't you just start with a recast? Because you've seen it, Grumpy.
All you need is a quick 30-second flashback. That's it.
Don't even need that.
Don't even need it. Just show the gun in a case. Show the picture of the Waynes.
Talk about it. You know what happened.
You don't need to show it. We've seen it. Animation, video games, comics, radio, for God's sakes. We've seen it all 1,000 times. Grumpy hates the Harley Quinn animation. That is not canon. Well, it's canon to itself, Grumpy. Like it's not trying to be anything else. Should not be done as a thing for adults. Like
I hate Harley Quinn, so I don't even care anyway about that show.
You're just mad because she chose the Joker over you. Get over it.
It should. Oh wait, hold on. I have a clip. Hold on.
It should have been me, not him. It's not fair.
There.
That is one of the most memeable scenes from that entire franchise. It's hilarious.
Good episode too. I didn't watch it until I had rewatched the whole show. I didn't see the Waking the Dragons arc.
That whole arc is underrated.
Yeah, but like the Pharaoh loses in that episode. So good.
I know. Oh, and I love it in the next episode where they tell Kaiba about it, and he's like,
"Yugi lost." He slams the desk. "You're a disgrace to the game, Yugi."
And then in Bridge version, he's like, "I thought what we had was special, Yugi."
Well, and then like and he keeps slapping the desk in the abridged too. No, and then like in the episode after that, when he's dueling Weevil. And Weevil rips up the card saying that it was Yugi's soul or whatever, lying that it was Yugi's soul. So then the Pharaoh traps him in an infinite loop that as long as he draws a monster card, he gets attacked by a monster. Even though his points are at 0, he's still going. Yeah. But because the Millennium Puzzle makes it rewrites reality so that the Pharaoh will always draw the card he needs. So he just keeps drawing monster cards.
Dude, in the Japanese version,
draw monstacado.
Draw monstacado.
Draw monstacado.
That shit is fantastic. Bro.
That show is a sequel to Batman the animated series. No, it's not. It is not. The Harley Quinn show. No. It is most assuredly not.
No, it may have a similar animation style, but it is not a sequel.
Nope. I'm trying to think if there's a thing that directly disproves it, but it's not because that would imply it's in the same universe as Justice League and all, and it's not. It's just not.
No,
Cape Crusader was good. I did like Cape Crusader.
I haven't seen Cape Crusader.
There is a Harley Quinn and Batman movie that came out.
Yeah, that is canon to Batman the Animated Series, and that one has kind of the elements of what the Harley Quinn show would become. I had watched it and realized this is kind of I think they took this and were like, this is kind of what we want to do as a whole show kind of thing. You can really see it.
Now that is true, but if you're thinking that movie is like a prequel to the Harley Quinn show, it's not. They're not in the same continuity.
No, it's a spiritual predecessor, but otherwise and even that Harley Quinn movie, you can just ignore. You can the DCAU can end at Justice League Unlimited if you want. It doesn't have to go into versus the Fatal Five. It doesn't have to go into the Harley Quinn movie, right? You can just forget about it. That, just like we were going to circle back to the Avatar thing. That's I love Avatar Last Airbender. I can watch that and not picture fucking the Rava talking to Aang. I'm like, oh, get that shit out of here. That was throw out. I gotta watch the Kite Man show yet. I gotta watch that.
Kite.
That is how they treat it, which is one of the many things I hate about Harley Quinn shows treated like it happened to Batman. No, it's not.
Dude, listen. There's a lot of fourth wall breaking moments. Maybe they reference it or something in that way. Yeah. I don't know, but that show is not in the same continuity. It would look at the timeline. It makes no sense for that show to take place in the DC animated universe.
Yeah. It takes place in our modern times.
Yeah.
in a DC universe, whereas the Batman animated series takes place in the 90s of the DC animated universe, you know?
Yeah.
But yet
it's
everyone is
not.
the same, you know?
Yeah, it's not the same continuity.
Yeah, no, Batman the animated series is way like timeless.
But okay,
It's,
so
like,
the
in its own
DCAU
time.
ends on Crisis on Two Earths. The Crisis on Two Earths is not canon to the DCAU. It is pseudo canon because it was meant to be a DC animated universe movie, but they cut all that out because they wanted to kind of rebrand it. So you cannot end it with Crisis on Two Earths because it is not part of the DCAU. And if you're talking about the Bruce Timm DCAU, if the movie DCAU, right, that starts with Justice League War. Well, it starts with Flashpoint Paradox and then moves to Justice League War, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, that's the other thing. There's a
Flashpoint
DC animated
Paradox, so
movie
good.
universe,
Yeah.
and then there's a DC animated television universe,
And then
that has some movies in
And
it.
then the Berlanti verse is the Arrowverse. And I will give you the Arrowverse has some crap in it. However, the Arrowverse also includes Smallville. It includes like the Snyderverse in some way because of the
Flash.
Crisis on Infinite Earths. Flash was good for like, you know, I'm saying I know War is New 52. That's the DCAMU, right? That's why I'm saying when you said that the DCAU ends on Crisis on Two Earths, you're talking about the animated, the Bruce Timm verse, right? Because
Yeah.
Crisis on Two Earths happened back in like 2012, unless you're talking about the modern Crisis on Infinite Earths movie, which is not related. Anyway,
Correct.
but the Harley Quinn show again is treated like it's part of Batman the animated series. Like, no, it's not. Like, I don't understand. Why you
Yeah,
could say that.
like
It's-
I'm not. I
it's-
mean,
I've never seen it like that.
it's there's-
Smallville stands
there's
alone,
no
but
connection.
technically it doesn't. Yeah. Anyway,
You know what? We're just gonna have to pull out a Zelda timeline type of map to show all these continuities. Get people
well, I mean,
to
and
understand what's
technically,
going on
according to
here.
DC, now they have like the Omniverse or whatever, so everything is canon. So
Yeah.
technically,
Yeah.
the-
Listen, Charlie
how
Brown
I
is
look at
canon. The Rankin Bass Christmas
Okay, well-
specials are
well, if
I
we're
canon.
make my
talking-
own canon. I've decided my own Batman canon for
you know,
sure.
it's like you're saying that it's like Harley Quinn is canon to Batman animated series. Is saying Teen Titans Go is canon to Teen Titans. Like, no, it's like it's not. Like,
They literally have in the show where the OG Teen Titans from the early 2000 series meets the Teen Titans
yeah,
Go
that's
team.
they have a whole movie
They're
about it. And the movie's
literal-
actually pretty good.
They're literally in two different universes.
Like a lot of the fans, not by me, but a lot of its fans act like it's part of. But they're stupid, Grumpy. But I have also not seen that either, so I don't know.
Listen, let me say this as clearly as possible. Fuck the fans, all right? The fans
hell
don't get to decide what is canon in what continuity, all right? I know that maybe the fans do think that, but guess what? The fans are wrong.
Yeah, like they have never officially declared the Harley Quinn show to be part of the even like Watchtower database. The leading authority on the Bruce Timmiverse has not declared it in any way canon. Like, and people say, because people like to say about like the Teen Titans show is canon to the Batman show, and it's like, yeah, but it's not though.
I wish it was, but it's not.
You know, like it's not. It's just like you can kind of squint and hope and pray because nothing says no. It's just that it's like, meh. Like the Robin is voiced by a different kid.
Yeah.
It's up
I
to
mean,
you.
I mean, I know like like when I was a kid, I used to think, oh, this is the Tim Drake Robin from the animated series. But then there's a lot of stuff that implies it's actually the Dick Grayson Robin, which doesn't make sense with the timeline. And then
Yeah.
I started thinking too, when you throw in Batman Beyond in there and you realize that Tim Drake, after the whole torture by the Joker,
Yeah.
never
When he was
became
still a kid. Yeah.
never became Robin again, it wouldn't make sense for him to become the Robin of the Teen Titans. And there's
Yeah.
just a lot of stuff there that when you look at the timeline, it wouldn't make sense for Teen Titans to exist in the DC animated universe.
But anyway, Grumpy, the show is actually good, but I understand if you don't like, because it is different. It's very different. It's kind of hard to get. I've thought about it before that I don't like the the aspect of everything in the show, every villain has some type of second job that they use their powers for, and everyone kind of lives their lives and does all this normal villain, like they're villains, but they go and shop in their costumes and all that stuff where it's like, okay, you know, it's too out there, it's too goofy. And then they try to bring it into reality. Like there's Villain Con on the moon where all the villains show up and hang out and they all drink like, you know, like boba tea and all that. Like I'm pretty sure Poison Ivy talked about boba tea and, you know, it's like all that stuff where it's like, okay.
Grumpy. The Bruce Timm DC animated universe is not canon to the animated movie universe, although there are movies that exist within the Bruce Timm animated universe. For example, Mask of the Phantasm is in the Bruce Timm animated universe. The Batwoman movie is in the Bruce Timm animated universe. There are some movies that exist in the Bruce Timm animated universe, but there is an animated universe movie continuity that came later that is not associated with the Bruce Timm animated universe at all. For example, Batman versus Robin, the Damian Wayne movie.
Yeah, Assault on Arkham.
Yeah, that stuff is not part of the Bruce Timm universe.
Assault,
it's part of its own separate movie universe.
Assault on Arkham is part of the Arkham verse of the games, even though to my knowledge has never been referenced by anything.
Again. Oh, what? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Assault on Arkham is in the Arkham verse. It's in the like they reference they reference Arkham Asylum and Arkham Origins.
Oh damn, that's cool.
They go to a lot of the locations inside of Arkham Asylum are the places from the game. You can literally be like, oh, that's this place. I know that place. Like I said, they never bring that back. It's never brought up in like Arkham Shadow, or anything like that. But it takes place before Asylum and after Origins. Yeah, all that Bruce Timm stuff is Bruce Timm stuff. It ends on Justice League Unlimited. No, it doesn't. It ends on Justice League versus the Fatal Five. You might not like it, but it does. That's the last one in the timeline. And
yeah, and then you know there's also the Batman and Harley Quinn film, and then really, if you look at the timeline, honestly, wouldn't it be the
well, it ends on Batman Beyond. But,
yeah, it would be Batman Beyond.
But I'm saying like as far as like the most recent thing is Justice League Fatal Five.
Yeah.
Anyway, and that's the last I'll hear of it. That's right, Swan, because we're gonna go. Baki says Creatured Commandos is mediocre at best. There's 2 episodes. I don't know. The Arkhamverse. Now, if you try to say that the Arkhamverse is canon to Batman the Animated Series, I am gonna lose my mind.
They use the same voice actors. It is a spiritual successor to Batman the Animated Series, but it is not in the same continuity.
No. And with that, we're gonna end because this is just gonna good night, everyone. We'll we'll see you next week after the Game Awards. I might be streaming on my gaming channel tomorrow doing the Game Awards. Yeah, I might be over there. I don't know yet. I like to watch the Game Awards like as a thing, but if they're boring, I might just hop on and be like, this sucks. But no, and so the 18th is our next show. Then I don't know if I'm going to do the 25th on Christmas or not. We'll find out. See what we want to do. So good night, everyone. I'll be here for that if you do that. But. All right. Well, I'll figure it out. Maybe we'll just skip Christmas because it's Christmas. Yep. So good night, everybody. I'm playing the